New Year's. New Year's here in Wonderland. At the time of the changing. This is when the changing happens.
The year that should not be.
The year that should not be has ceased. Let us now praise the year of change. Praise the year of change. Philip and Neif and David are here. David is a busy little elf in the kitchen. And Philip is off somewhere. He's around, you know. Hey Neif, you want to check on the Facebook and make sure everything's running okay? You'll have to check my personal.
Yeah, it's all good.
If you would just make sure the audio is okay, it should be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick out for a second so I don't get no feedback.
Cool. You should be getting audio for me and you guys, but my audio is on a separate track. So, what me and David say may or may not show up, or what you and Philip say may or may not show up. So yeah, we could just get a test on that before we get too deep into it.
Right.
Right-ho. Hey,
Right-ho.
Hey. How you doing? You're looking fine over there on your throne.
Hey. It's coming through on YouTube.
Okay.
So far. So I'm going to send some links on Facebook. Get some people.
Were you getting me and Philip?
I guess so. Philip wasn't talking.
Dang.
Oh, shit.
All right, well, y'all talk. Let me check on it. Well, shit, I don't have my phone.
No, I can check it again. That's fine. Y'all just keep a chat.
Well, Happy New Year's, Philip. Buddy, pal. What's your New Year's resolution? Philip?
What?
What's your New Year's resolution?
What? Oh, my New Year's resolution is to stop having New Year's resolutions.
I saw...
And so far it's going great.
Nice. That's a good resolution to have.
I made that same resolution like 20 years ago, Phil. That's a good one.
I
haven't had one since. I might have to have one this year, though.
I saw a post that was like, there's no rule anywhere that says a New Year's resolution has to be a good thing. You could resolve to do a bad thing.
I'm going to commit 7 more murders than I did this year. That's fine.
That's a good goal. That's a good goal to have.
I think so too.
That's honorable. Did we get a key to Bob to enter the kingdom? Nefo? He's checking the sound. He can't hear us.
I'm here. I can hear you. We okay.
Did we
I'm gonna start hounding some people to come see me.
Did you get a key to the kingdom for Bob?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
He should be tumbling on down into the Tea Party soon.
Sick. That's what we call sick. Nah. So, aliens, guys. And I'm serious this time when I say that. Because, it sounds like we're getting more and more, government confirmation of aliens. Did you guys see the thing? So it was YeAr, Professor YeAr, I think is his name. Hold on.
Who?
Hold your horses, Mr. Hare. Former head of Israeli space program. UFOs, aliens are real, but they're keeping their presence unknown. I'm just going to share my screen. That might help. I'm sure we can share this. That's probably fine. Why won't it let me do it? Hello? Oh, it's frozen now. It's too taxing on my computer. I'll just read it to you guys. Former head of Israeli space program's UFO narrative contradicted by latest info from U.S. government insiders. That sounds like something that the government would say.
Did we lose Phil?
Oh, he's hiding around somewhere, scurrying around, I'm sure.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
He's a scurrying little fiend. He scurries into all kinds of places, don't you, Phil?
He's just sitting on his throne over there.
He's scheming about where he wants to scurry to. He's plotting his next scurrying event. David knows. He's seen David scurry. He's seen Philip scurry.
Never seen anyone scurry like Phil scurries.
Yeah, he's a scurrying fiend, I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't
a man move like that. It's kind of terrifying. Actually.
I know. No, like, and you don't hear him protesting. He actually dug a lot of the rabbit holes to get here. But with his bare hands, with his toes, in fact.
Guy's not fucking around.
Phil's the dormouse. Remember what the dormouse said? Because I sure still can't. I couldn't hear him.
So I'm looking at this article. I'm just going to give you the footnotes. This guy, in a recent press conference, Professor YeAr, the former head of Israeli space program, said that aliens are in fact real and that they've been in communication with people for a while. And when Donald Trump found out, he excitedly wanted to tell everybody, but the aliens encouraged him not to. And so this guy's blowing the whistle on it. He says that they've been in communication with people for a while. And I don't know how much validity this... I mean, he's former head of Israeli NASA, basically. But despite what this guy says, there's no doubt in my mind that there's UFOs. That's the thing. I don't know if I want to say aliens, right? Because...
Well, both terms are kind of,
Because
if they're unidentified flying objects, they're UFO. Alien means, not of this area, so it's...
Yeah. You guys can't...
extraterrestrial beings. That's the big question that,
Well, what I was going to say is, I don't know that it's not, some reverse engineer man-made craft, that's just really high tech. It could be something like that. What I am saying is there's way too many accounts and even footage of things that let's say defy what we know in current science can be seen.
Right.
Yes, I can, Danny. How's it going, Danny? Why don't you hop in and join us? I'll send you the guts to join. Give me 1 second. Happy New Year's. So thanks for joining us on this hole. Thanks for joining us in the hole, buddy. Party in the hole. Man, my computer's running slow trying to stream right now. I'm trying to send Danny links. You don't have to hop in if you don't want to, Danny, but I'm just going to send you a link anyway. Oh, fuck.
There he is. He's back.
What the fuck? It's just
the stream went down.
Did the stream go down?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. My computer freaked out so hard when I tried to send Danny a link that it just fucking booted me from the stream.
Yeah.
Is the stream back up?
Let me see.
Oh, no. What happened to Philip?
Oh, you know what? No, the audio's up. I can hear it. We got audio. We got no video.
You probably don't have your audio. Does mine?
I'm talking about on YouTube right now.
You do have your audio?
Yeah, we're running audio only.
Oh, Philip is here. It looked like he wasn't. Okay, hold on, Danny. I'm going to get to what you were saying. My computer. Oh, you know, it's fickle. It's a fickle device. Fickle technology. It doesn't work too good in Wonderland.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. See, we still got audio going, so we still talking to the world out there.
Okay, so.
They just can't see us.
Danny said, NASA, in biblical Hebrew, means to lift up. That's crazy.
I've heard that before. Something like that.
Wow.
That's
clever.
What are the numbers? What's the numeric value? Is there like a wild numeric value in Hebrew for NASA?
I'm not sure. I don't know anything about it. Maybe you know, Danny. You were probably addressing Danny anyway.
Yeah.
So look that you said the stream's back up. Everything looks okay. Oh wait, you don't have.
No, we're audio only right now.
Wait, hold up.
On FB and.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, let us see. There we go. We got video now. There we go. Yay. Whoa. Oh, hey, Danny hit us back with the numerical for NASA.
All right, now we're back with some video.
Danny hit us back with the numericals for NASA. It's 50 plus 1 plus 300 plus 1, which is 352.
352. I don't know if that has any weird significance in anything.
Yeah.
I was just,
I don't know anything about numerology, really.
Well, I mean, a lot of people talk about their number, some of their words and their numbers will line up to, other pretty wild stuff. I saw a lot of it on Pi. In Pi, they addressed it. The movie Pi, what's his name? Drawing a blank, but it's a black and white film he did. Really good. I liked it. About this computer geek, basically, that, you know, he's like a savant. He's like, you know, crazy with numbers. And some broker company, I think, wants him to figure out an algorithm for them to guess the number, and then he starts talking to like the Jewish community kind of finds him, like the Hasidics, you know, the really orthodox guys, and one of them sits down and starts talking to him about the numbers, and he talks about how, like, the symbol or the word for mother and father, as numbers, when they're added together, equals the number that equals, like, child. You know, so there's a lot of, like, weird mathematics, like word math going on in their language. It's really, really amazing. I mean, that's just like the tip of it, I'm sure, but, you know, it's nothing I ever studied too deeply into.
Well, did you see, I think, I don't know who it was that released it. It might have it was someone in the government leaked that footage of the triangular looking thing just going, you know, it's going vertical really quickly, and then just on a dime completely just changes its like just completely goes a different direction, and it comes out of the water. Have you seen that?
We were watching that the other day.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny that stuff when you're looking at it, and that credible people are telling you it's real now. And that's the only argument I've heard against it, really, is that it's counterintelligence. Like, keep people distracted, thinking, oh, you think UFOs are real? That's crazy. You know?
Right. Well, you know, the distraction method, that's the way to do it.
But,
distraction and division.
It's hard for me to deny, like, at least UFOs, you know? And some kind of life beyond us. We were talking about underground aliens.
Underground aliens?
Yeah.
Like as in earthling creatures, or creatures that are extraterrestrial that came here and started living underground? What, and we didn't know?
I don't know what came first, but there was a guy, I can't remember what his name is, and I haven't seen this for myself, but a friend of mine, Jordan, was telling me that there was a guy who was whistleblowing. He was giving a press conference, and he took off his shirt and his pants on stage and revealed a giant burn that he had on his entire torso. And he was talking about how there was an expedition underground, and they found some tunnels already dug, and they just started following these pre-existing tunnels, and a fucking gray walked up on him and blasted him with a goddamn laser and fried the two guys in front of him and left him just heavily disfigured with a single blast.
It's crazy. So
yeah,
some gray dudes, little gray man.
Mm-hmm.
Blasting him.
Yeah, just with a cartoon laser gun. Danny says. Danny says
that's what I'm interested in. You know, it's it's not like the humanoid being, the little gray man that I'm in disbelief of. It's the technology that I want the explanation behind. You know?
Danny says the Bible is about extraterrestrialism, or extraterrestrials for certain. And I think, especially when you give it extra context, like the Book of Enoch,
Right?
it really seems that way. Like, you have the Watchers in the Book of Enoch. They're like descendant angels, like fallen angels, but they come down
Right.
and they bring man all these different truths. Like they teach them about jewelry and like cosmetics, and I don't know if in that myth they teach them fire, but probably. And they teach them about all kinds of different things, and they like tattoos and
Like tattoos and tattooing.
yeah. Well, I mean, I know one of the things they taught them was like how to elevate yourself in perspective,
Right.
like jewelry and like makeup and like tattoos and shit, anything to distinguish yourself and give you something other than a humanly appearance.
Right.
Yeah. So it's well, I know that was one of the things. Fire might have been one of them. It's been a while since I took a look at the Book of Enoch. But they showed him a bunch of stuff. I think warfare and maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to try and sign off anymore. But yeah, it definitely seems that the Bible is talking about extraterrestrials. And I think a lot of what is cut out of the Bible is to sort of tailor it to a certain narrative that is not necessarily there. Like, it's trying to force a certain narrative, basically, that may or may not be present. Or at least make it more prevalent and reduce other aspects of it, I suppose, would be a more accurate way to put it. Philip, where are you scurrying at? Are you scurrying in a hole?
I don't know. I wonder if he keeps losing connection.
Scurrying little Philip.
That's,
Oh, he texted me. He said he can't get good audio. He has to go. His internet is trash. That's okay. Thanks for joining us, Philip.
Well, the Hatter left the Jeep party,
down-
so it's just us buddies.
We're down a Hatter, just a couple of hairs. Rabbies. I was watching one of my favorite Let's Play channels, and one guy was talking to the other guy, and one of the guy he was talking to was Jewish, and he was like, "Whoa, did you know Marge from The Simpsons has rabbi ears underneath her hair? Whenever she gets electrocuted, you can see them." And he's like, "What are rabbi?" He's like, "What are rabbi ears?" He's like, "Rabbi ears." He's talking about rabbit ears.
Oh.
But the guy just doesn't get it. He's like, "You talking about the little hair things?"
No, that's not an ear.
Rabbi ears.
Oh, my Lord.
What are you going to say?
Oh, my Lord. Oh, I think Bob is going to hop in.
Babo.
Had a little bit. I think he's going to work up to the stove.
Babo. Bo.
I am checking out a feed over on the...
We also got Trapper hopping in in a little bit.
Oh, groovy. Well, the night is young. We still got 2 hours before it's technically New Year's here. Even though I was playing chess with somebody earlier. From the future.
Yeah. 6
Our
hours in
game
the
jumped
future.
into the future. I heard the New Year's ring overseas.
So,
And then,
I mean, did you guys, well, I guess it's me and you now. And Alice, of course. Did you see that it was Trump's COVID bill that he signed had thrown into it a 180-day time limit for the Pentagon to release all the information they had on UFOs.
really?
Yeah, and they just snuck that in there.
Really? That's funny.
And I was talking about this with David yesterday, and he made a good point that the reason, like, both sides of this don't want, they keep putting other things in the COVID bill, and that's why the other side won't sign it, because it's like, why aren't we staying on point? Like, what's all this other shit you threw in here?
Right.
And oh, well, that's part of the bill anyway. Is Pentagon has to release to the public what it knows about UFOs in
Right.
six months. So yeah, I honestly think we're gonna get some information about UFOs and shit like.
I think we're gonna get some fucking lip service like we get about everything. But hey, you know.
But I mean, I think it's hard to deny at this point. Like, I'm a believer, I really am.
Right, but what I'm saying is, what you have is, you got a populace of people that want to not believe that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of, there's a lot of curious people out there that think they want to believe it, but a lot of the populace is ready to just keep not believing it, or ready to just buy some other story real easy, and they're ready to feed it to them.
That guy I was telling you about, Haim Shed, he was saying that the extraterrestrials stopped Trump from talking about it because humanity's not mature enough to have the information yet, and so they're holding it back. He also said,
always said as a populace, we're not, everybody freaked the hell out.
He also said that that they've prevented nuclear wars in the past, and that they still occupy and observe nuclear test sites.
Right.
And they intervene in nuclear war because they don't want humanity to blow up.
Right.
He also he wrote a whole book on this, man, but he gave a lecture recently. And
well, I always said if you had a species of beings that were on a level that could achieve that kind of, interstellar travel and that kind of level.
Of course they wouldn't want us to know. Of course they wouldn't.
Well, they would understand things on a level that they would say, look, if we came down, we would have to basically enslave these damn things because they're so, it's like us going to an animal basically and trying to get it on our level. And it's just not a level that they know that we can handle. And so it's, to come down and fix all of our problems.
Yeah.
People start to realize the problems that they have are created. They create the problem. So it doesn't matter what kind of solution you give somebody sometimes. They want the problem.
Right.
We got a lot of maturing to do as a species.
I mean, there's definitely something to be said that it would be a huge culture shock for people to find out about alien life all of a sudden. Plus, I mean, the government wants to... It's got some explaining to do to people if it drops that bomb. Because it's like...
Right.
Because it's like, yeah, we known about this shit and we've been keeping it from you.
Right. You know, well, you've got to... Yeah, they've got to admit that they've been bullshitting us.
You know, the best thing... Because, I mean, I feel like people are finding out at this point more and more. And it's getting harder to keep things under wraps because of the internet. And
Right.
just because of surveillance. Like, so, like, any you know, fucking 14-year-old with a drone, you know, fly over your house.
Right.
But, like... what was I saying? Oh, I mean, I feel like it's just going to get exposed pretty soon. And, like, they're not going to be able to keep it under wraps, so they might as well just try to pass it off and save face in the process. If it was Biden, he could just let Trump's bill, just go through, you know? Like, you know,
Right.
not try and fight it once he's there. And, like, he could just be like, oh, it's Trump's fault, you know, that he knew that aliens were hiding, you know, were here, but he was hiding it from you.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is they could have all done that for years now. But
Right.
when you have that kind of cover up on that kind of level, it's beyond the FedRAMP. It ain't just a FedRAMP. You know, I mean, that could be the reason why. One of the reasons why they're all so against him is that he was wanting to blow a whistle and all this shit.
Yeah.
You know, so they're like, anything and everything we can, by any means necessary, we have to destroy this guy. You know,
Right.
and don't get me wrong, because I'm no fan, and I'm not over here defending a politician or somebody that became a politician, but you know,
Haim Eshed also said that he gave a certain number of species of aliens that exist, and he described a council sort of like a galactic
the Intergalactic Council.
Yeah, like a galactic federation is basically what he described. And he said some aliens are not all in the council, and some of them have outright evil intentions.
Right.
And he said, but the ones in cooperation with Earth don't mean us any harm. In fact, they've prevented catastrophes. And I mean, this is not no one, you know. It could be part of some giant, you know, fucking
right.
CIA psyops, fucking.
Well, if they don't want it to come out, then they'll find a way to make his truth correct and make him just as wacky as he needs to be, or not.
I think he also he said he confirmed that America knew and was in collaboration, and France and Israel, obviously, because he was with Israel, and Russia, which, you know, obviously, of course, you know, fucking China probably also, and Germany.
Everybody but us.
Yeah, everyone except the public.
Yeah. You know, it's on the other side of the looking glass.
But
we're never represented. Never represented. So, it is 10:16. We don't have much time before we're technically out of this crap-ass year.
That's good.
And hybrid children, watch the sea.
I think 2021 could be the year of aliens, man.
You know, that might be what turns shit around.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know.
Potentially.
And I mean, my
Potentially.
whole thing is, what does anything have to bring us? If on the positive, it's going to be nothing but knowledge.
Yeah.
We know that you should be doing this like this because of this. I mean, that's what I'm interested in. And otherwise, it's a threat. It's like, oh, shit, that's some powerful being. We're pretty much got to do what they say. Yeah. Which is one of those things, I always said, that's got to have some kind of benevolence. If you got that kind of power and you're not just showing up like Battlefield Earth and crushing us in 7 minutes and, enslaving humanity.
Right. So let's switch it up a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to make myself a teaminade.
Okay.
And my groovy goblet here.
You going somewhere?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to stand up and step over here.
Can you still hear me?
I'm not going to take y'all with me on this go.
Will you be able to hear me though?
Yeah, because I can reach.
I was just going to say, let's talk about the bombing on Christmas Day last week.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I mean, there's really not a whole lot to be said.
Well,
I saw that needs to be said, really.
Well, I saw today. Today, I saw a post talking about how the person who did it was a QAnon conspiracy theorist. I also saw today, in the same day, saying the person who did it was an Islamic extremist. I also saw today that the FBI...
Where do you read this news?
Oh, Facebook, of course. Where else would I get such garbage?
Because I literally saw...
No, unfortunately...
dispelling it all, saying that he wasn't even registered to vote.
Unfortunately, these are shared from people I know.
Right.
Well,
you got to fit the narrative.
Or, like meme groups I frequent.
Right.
Which, the best source of information, Facebook meme groups.
Right. I mean, that's, the most trusted source of news since Comedy Central.
Right. I miss The Onion. Is The Onion still around?
I missed The Onion before it got purchased.
I haven't kept up with it. I don't even know if it's still around.
Yeah, a few years back it got purchased, and it's very left. It's very DNC, very, Annie. Which, how I am with comedy. You can get Politico with me on comedy, but it's going to get old hat real quick if you're just beating on the same door,
Yeah.
And political comedy is, you got to get a little bit intellectual with it to make me laugh,
Hey, Danny.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. From Glen to Glen.
Hey, we got Danny. What's up? What's up?
How you doing, my brother?
Welcome to the hole.
I'm gonna switch up backgrounds just because Danny's here.
Danny.
Y'all don't want to talk about aliens no more?
No, bro. Fuck it. Let's talk about aliens some more. Let's talk about aliens all night.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think it's funny because, I think I mentioned to you Spaceship Jesus,
Yeah.
it's a possibility.
Spaceship Jesus.
Break it down.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite interpretations, really. Time travel Jesus is sort of on the table. But yeah, the Bible's definitely about people from another dimension, interfering with our realm.
That's what it sounds like, for sure.
They're not Earthlings like
get to like self-declared, like I don't exist in Earth, you know, like, and you have these, so like nobody can say it ain't so. Like you can say that that wasn't the point of the literature and how it's all kind of abstract or mystical language, you know, to express like true virtues. You can make that argument against, like, well, it wasn't really about aliens and people coming out of the sky, you know.
Yeah.
But it sort of is, though.
I mean, I would say absolutely. I don't know if we were just talking about the Book of Enoch. I think when you add in some sort of like some of those apocryphal books, I think it gives it further context that makes that very clear that it's absolutely some kind of extraterrestrial or interdimensional interference. And
yeah, I heard what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty on point. About how they taught mankind, like, basically all of our vices, like, in a way.
Yeah. They taught us vanity.
Yeah,
like you
scandalous things.
Yeah.
And it reads like that. I mean, you know.
Right.
For sure.
It's also
John had to. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's also a perspective thing because I would argue that even with the shortcomings of that, I'm glad for that information.
Yeah. No, I was thinking the same thing when I read it. I was like, you know, a lot of this stuff is cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we would have needed angels to teach us that shit unless, like, I don't know.
It's kind of like the Prometheus and the fire thing. Or, you know, actually, let's use the example of the serpent and the apple. I mean, there's a very good argument that's sort of the ancient Gnostic argument that you can say he's the hero in that perspective. He enlightened Adam and Eve and gave them newfound perspective. They saw like God saw. The difference between good and evil. They put on clothes.
That's sort of that's sort of what the myths and whatnot about Lilith are, you know. Like Lilith was Eve, you know, as the enlightened form, giving the gift of wisdom to mankind.
Yeah.
You know, so like the Jews' depiction of it is like it's the fall of mankind, but then like a pagan depiction of the same story is typically like a divine mother, giver of wisdom, and they go back pretty far in most ancient myths, you know.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And it was like a good thing for the world. So I think that's evidence of like what you're saying.
Yeah, I'd say I'm glad that Eve bit the apple, regardless of all the bad things that come with that.
You know, we're gonna travel through this crazy dimension, you know.
Yeah.
Experience like the intrinsic nature of good and evil.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wild ride.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. My mom's she's a sweetheart, and like she's just a really nice person. But I'm really open with her about like things I've done and like spirit work, and I've told her about you know, my interactions with different spirits, and yeah, I'm just very open. That's just the relationship we have, and like and she was like, you know, she's like, it's kind of like when your dad has a blowtorch locked in his tool shed, or, you know, locked in his toolbox, and he tells you not to play with it. It's like he knows what he's doing with it, but those things are off limit to us for a reason. There's a reason we're warned against magic, was sort of her argument, because you're playing with fire and you could definitely get hurt. And I think that's a totally valid thing to say. Like, if you don't know what you're messing with, you really could. It is important.
Yeah, but the main argument on that, when it comes to survival and humanity as an animal, it's understood when you're a child that there comes a point when those things must be taught to you and they cannot be hindered.
Yeah.
Because you have to advance them, and there's no way that you can advance them if they're stifled.
Right.
The sutra's always said that the sutra will teach you things that you might not agree with, and even the writer of the sutra might not agree with. But knowledge is not to be segregated. It's not someone else's decision what you need to know.
Yeah.
That gets into the whole, knowledge should be free. And
Neif, man, you're bringing up something that like I have to stop myself from getting angry about, because I'll get so upset, like, because like the truth about like just the biblical literature in itself, like, because I could get into the whole academic structure in America and how it pisses, or the whole world, it makes me angry. But no, like, you got all these ignorant Christians out here that don't know squat, and it's like, dude, they've learned so much like factual stuff about literature and its bearing on the Bible, to where, I mean, it would change the Christian world if they had this information available to them. But
right.
It's not. It's hidden behind thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, I won't be able to get my book published probably unless I get a degree,
Right.
But,
yeah, well, I mean, you could publish it, but nobody credible is going to publish it and put it out.
Yeah.
Like, I won't get the permissions of all the references.
I got you. Right.
$1,000 a piece for somebody that ain't sponsored by a university, more or less.
Right.
Like, pay me $3,000. You want to quote me or cite me as a source?
Right.
Like,
well, you know what, Danny? Just reword it and cite me, because I probably said all that shit anyway at one time.
Yeah.
Like, according to Neif, but that's what I said. No, you said it like this. He worded it something better, and he don't even know you, so. He wrote that shit in the song.
I'll change all of the authors and book titles to Neif. Yeah.
just random songs from jams.
Mm-hmm. That would be funny too.
I'm not certain who wrote this, but I was at this jam when that dude was singing some shit. This was one of the lines.
That one was Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I do. I'm going to try anyways, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to go. I still got like another year, so what I'm working on.
So I think okay. I think we've all established that there's some kind of alien interference of some kind. At least the three of us, I think, are on the same page. We are at the Mad Tea Party.
I'm praying for the aliens to be real and to be upset about how evil mankind is right now,
Yeah.
Like, I'm up to come and vaporize all the capitalists and be like, y'all should care for each other as yourself,
Yeah.
Here's how to have everything you need in order where it's easy and you can enjoy your creativity and intelligence.
So
Something like that.
if we accept that as a truth, the next question is, how much of an influence has it been? And I think it's probably quite substantial, probably quite a lot of our technology, right?
The whole invention of the computer is sort of a freaky, out of nowhere thing.
A lot of great thinkers and scientists have attributed their achievements to channeling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, it gets really creepy, like, the further you go. Like, it's interesting that, like, you said that the guy blowing the whistle on the Pentagon was the CIA? Big guy in the CIA or something?
Haim Ashed, I think Professor Haim Ashed, I think, is the one you're talking about. He was the former, I can pull it up again. I think he's the former director of the Israeli space program.
Okay.
And he was saying that not only are aliens real, but former head of Israeli space program.
That's interesting.
Yeah, this was I think it was like a week ago. He was at a press conference and he announced a book where he's talking about it more. I'm definitely going to read that.
Like when Trump was like like one of the first things he said was like, "We need a space army." You know, I was like,
right.
You know, I was like, aliens are real.
Space Force.
Also, you know, his story
like
holds.
Space Marines. We're about to start shipping cargo interstellar with him.
But for real, like it was like he really
game
did
over,
that.
man.
Eshed's story adds up too, because he's like, Trump tried to tell everyone, but they stepped in and interfered and told him no. That you know, humanity wasn't ready and it would cause mass hysteria. And honestly, if you were an alien that's super fucking advanced watching Earth, why the fuck would you want humans to know about you? Honestly.
Well, like if you weren't stepping in and like stopping this bullshit, or if, or you know, in a good way or a bad way, you know, but you're checking us out, you know, then obviously, like, you know, that's like obviously like not like landing and I'm here, you know.
So we need
like it would have to be such an intelligent species too, man. Like imagine it, you know.
Yeah.
Like we start to understand this, like the interpersonal neurobiology combined, like all fields of study that involve the mind, like, you know, from philosophy to chemistry and whatnot, you know. And they're starting to really understand what a human is, like biologically and like completely, you know, like it's like their whole idea of psychology is changing, you know. And we're like so primitive at this point in the race still. So a species that done did interstellar like travel and could interact with other species from other planets, you know, like they would have to see us like so obviously and plainly, you know.
There would be very little we could offer them.
No, for sure. Like unless like they like water or carbon, you know.
Maybe resources, but nothing intrinsic about us.
No, they would totally be lifting us up from a God kind of story, you know.
Yeah. So I mean,
that would be awesome, and it probably have been. I imagine there's like rogue man. Nah, man, check this out. Like,
so if what Eshed is saying is true and he's credible, then I mean, humanity's goal should be to raise our just current average enlightenment overall, so the aliens will be willing to descend upon us and grace us with their light.
Yeah.
So,
straight up, man. And like when you understand like knowledge and like growing intellectually and truth and power and whatnot, like those are like the metaphors. Like fill me with your light, you know.
Yeah.
Like it lift me up like a star into the sky, like bright as the sun. You know, like that's what wisdom is really like. And I don't know, man.
So we all just need to be doing our part to raise the enlightenment of humanity.
I've been trying, man, and I ain't got nothing but beat the fuck down for it.
We gotta keep trying, Danny.
I appreciate that.
Just get back in the ring.
I love people so hard, but it's like, I so fucking hate them. Like, I'm sick of it. Like, I get, like, it's the whole Moses thing. Like, you know, he wasn't supposed to hit the rock, you know, and God killed him for it, but he was sick of those motherfucking people driving him crazy. Like, like that was like the moral of the story. You get so sick of people continually doing wrong and stupidity and worthlessness.
No matter how much you try to help them, no matter what you sacrifice to help them, they still gonna turn around and disappoint you.
Yeah, like when you get wisdom, like you signed up for that shit. Like,
yeah,
it's work.
So, yeah, I think maybe, I mean, there's a lens of Christianity, but that's not the only way to look at the Bible, obviously, because you also have Judaism looking at the Torah. And I think I'm not even going to say Satanism. I'm going to say Luciferianism, because I'm more specifically talking about the fallen angel concept. I think looking at the fallen angel or the serpent as the hero is quite a valid way of approaching it, just as valid as looking at Jesus as the Messiah would be. And
like when you're looking at it from a wisdom perspective or an uplifting through knowledge perspective, like the same kind of growth, like relationship is there. I mean, I get that. I agree with that.
Yeah. Hey, Bubbo. Babo.
Robert's Galaxy.
Babo.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
What's up,
Babo.
brother?
Can you guys hear me? Yo.
Yeah, I can hear you. Happy
Okay, great.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man.
Danny, this is Bob.
Finally put it.
Bob, this is Danny.
Oh, here we go. I got the everybody's face up on one. Hey, what's up, Danny?
Bob, we're just talking about aliens.
Ah, awesome. Yeah, putting 2020 to sleep with a bit of what's the word? Abduction.
Yeah. Abduct us out of... Please, aliens, if you can hear this, please abduct us out of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to skip 2021. I'm expecting this one to be worse.
I'm expecting fucking alien talk from the government. That's what I'm expecting. I'm sorry,
I'm
Danny.
expecting it.
Anytime anything cleanses or purges itself, it gets better. It always goes through. It's like, if we just got done being pummeled with this ailment, right? And this next year we're going to get over it as a society, as a fucking people, as a human species. Then what's coming might not be as bad as far as, oh God, the news is so bad, but the pain of change and the pain of purge, of realization and the change is going to destroy so many people, and they don't even see it coming. So many of the people that think they're strong because they made it through, because their ego got them through, they don't realize that it is going to be crushed, and it has to be crushed. The bigger you let it get, the worse it's gonna,
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, you could say.
Yeah.
Like, I look at death like that, like exactly like you're saying, like these people survive through their ego and they never really like step up to the reality play. I think they have to face it like a sledgehammer, at the end there.
Yeah.
Well, what you guys are talking about right now, it reminds me of something that Alan Moore had said in an interview when he was asked about his feelings about the apocalypse and the end of the world. And he started chuckling, and then he got serious and was like, if you actually look at the etymological origins of the word apocalypse, it doesn't actually mean the end of the world physically. And what it really comes down to is the end of the world as we view it, as we perceive it, as we interact with it. And so it's like if you guys have ever read the book Ishmael, where he talks about how there's no right way to build a bike, as long as you just got the two wheels and the handles. And so Alan Moore started talking about this idea that the apocalypse is going to be fun. And basically what it's really going to boil down to, and etymologically, is just ego death on a world scale. And he's like, and
that's what we need.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot of people, and a lot of people are not going to know how to deal with it. But at the same time, he's like, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun, because all it is going to be the death of the way that we are preconceived to interact with the world, and we need to come up with a different way of doing it.
It's what the hippies referred to as the age of Aquarius.
Yes. Yeah. Except nothing came out of that.
Right. They were early.
Well, we're still in the age of Aquarius.
The age of the Aquarius, I don't think it starts for like 150 years. It's been a while since I checked the numbers, and then I've heard that there's a dispute about like when they started, but I've studied precession, and I'm pretty sure like it's like 150 years away. I need to look it up.
Well, this is the dawning, according to the song.
Yes.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is apocalypto, and it means to remove the cover or to reveal a hidden truth, Like, so to apply it to the global society, by all means, it's exactly what you're saying. It's to reveal a new way to see the world. Like,
exactly, it's not necessarily the end of anything physical.
Yeah,
it's not about a physical death. It's about a perceptual and an ego death. Yeah.
And I think
it's neat stuff, man.
I think that's evident if you just look.
Good. Like once you learn their language, as far as apocalyptic language, once you see the vision of it, and it is what you're saying there, it's a really cool thing. I don't know, man. These people are crazy that wrote these stories.
I think it's also evident if you just look around, like when Christianity is on the way out, and
and it deserves to be for how these people act, you know, and
it really is.
Like
it's on its way out, and self-worship and idolism are on the way in.
No, so is Israeli Judaism. When I was back in Charlottesville working on Main Street, where a whole bunch of UVA students would come and go and come and go and come and go, I can't tell you the number of Israeli exchange students who were studying at UVA who were all fucking atheists. And every single one of them would tell you straight up with a straight face, I want nothing to do with my parents' faith because we're so fucking sick of this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like give it another 5 generations and Israel itself will be primarily atheist.
That sounds probably
it's weird because like part of their government is like, and then part of it isn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, I'm a firm believer that anybody that's sociopathic enough to become a world leader is a fucking atheist. I think straight up, I think Obama's an atheist. Both Bushes are atheists. Carter, Reagan, Trump obviously is a fucking atheist. He hasn't put a single thought into anything religious in his entire life. And it really,
I would argue that George Bush Jr. I think he definitely believes he's a Christian. I think he feels really, really, really guilty for like a lot of evil shit that he did. Because I've kind of looked at his end of his life, what he's doing with it, and it seems like somebody that feels really guilty. Like all he does is fuck with like wounded soldiers and shit. You know?
Oh, and his Habitat for Humanity work. Yeah, and his Habitat for Humanity work, like, the guy obviously feels guilt. He's trying to make up for it before he bites the dust.
Yeah, I feel that really strong, and I feel like it's linked to his fantasy of religion, which, you know, and I mean that.
He's also a legacy. He probably doesn't want to go. He's trying, like many of them, to not go down in history as a warmonger, but it's kind of hard to do.
Too late.
Once you sit in that seat, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. No, that's why I would have gone if I got drafted, but I just couldn't sign up to do that shit. Like I couldn't do it. Like sign up to, you know, go to other people's countries.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I'm not gonna agree to do that. Like,
I'm a lover, not a fighter, man.
I just want.
I mean, I did like civil law enforcement, so I ain't a bitch. Like, but you know,
I just want everyone to get along.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what prison's like. You know, hey, I'll get along. You know, straight up.
So don't mind me rattling off for about 3 minutes. I had this idea earlier while I was walking to the back door to get a beer and whatnot before calling you guys up, and I think Neif and I had talked a little bit about this not too long ago about Jacques Lacan and the Lacanian other with a capital O. I see you nodding your head. We did have that conversation, right? So I was having this thought that, like, so if you guys to catch up Danny and Alex and Neif on this a little bit, like Jacques Lacan is a French continental philosopher and psychologist, right there along the lines with Michel Foucault and Roland Barthes and Derrida and all that kind of stuff, the post-structuralists and whatnot.
Yeah, the time frame, like when they were around.
And it's like coming out of the Situationist movement in 1968, where they started picking up the bricks in Paris and throwing them at the riot cops and shit, and revealed that Paris is actually built on a beach. It's sand. It's shifting sand underneath Paris, and so this is where they came up with the idea of situationism, because it's all situational. The whole city could just shift on a dune at any moment. But so Jacques Lacan had come up with this concept of the other with a capital O, and he came up with it as a psychologist, as a therapist. Where when every patient who walks into your office and sits down for therapy, the first thing that they're going to do is start blaming their problems on somebody else, right? If you're a therapist and you have a patient, and the moment they step into your office, they start blaming their problems on themselves, they're already halfway there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like, so he started noticing, it's like the first thing, day one, everybody blames their problem on something else. They have to protect their ego. And so for everybody, there's always this other, this capital O, other, this is my problem. And it's actually not my problem. It's their problem. It's the other's problem. And I got to thinking about this, and I was like, we're about to go into 2021, and Jacques Lacan was so on point with this like 50 years ago. And it's the kind of thing where it's like 2020, if you look at social media, like mimetically, psychologically, emotionally, and just physically for a lot of people with the pandemic and the tornado and the bombing and all this kind of shit, 2020 is literally like the Cthulhu version of the Lacanian other with a capital O to the T, where everybody's like, I got so many problems, 2020. 2020 did it to me. Like, the year itself has become this almost like egregore.
I call it
kind of like
the year that should not be.
Yeah, the year that should not be. It's become this like it's become, if we're going to go back to Israel, right, with the atheism and whatnot, 2020 is basically, it's a golem, GOLEM, like an earth golem, or if you've ever played RPG games, like in Judaism, especially in Kabbalah, there's this concept of the golem, and like 2020 has basically become a fucking golem. It's become a golem. It's just like earthen, fleshy, fucking Cthulhu-esque mass of just bullshit that just traipses through your fucking yard, and it's like, oh, you woke up today. Fuck you. I'm gonna step on your head. It's like, and I'm rolling D20 all day.
I don't blame YeAr or anything else on it, but reality with my problems. But 2020 has been one of the most difficult years, of my life, like without a doubt.
For a lot of people.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It really is. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
And it's fucking, all these politicians are like, we can't travel while I'm, vacationing in Cabo, but y'all can't travel. Or it's like,
we can't spare any money, not too much money, but I got to make sure I got loads of ice cream in my 2 freezers.
Yeah.
Let me laugh about
this.
$600
is pretty laughable. Like, it's not going like people that ain't been working for most of the year, like that haven't, that are like homeless. Like, what's that going to do?
It's nothing good.
Oh yeah, in the average major city, the potential eviction rate, or at least people so far who qualify for eviction once the moratorium is lifted, is something like 18%, that's absurd. I mean, can you imagine 18% of the adult population?
331 million. Yeah. What is that? Maybe 600. I don't know. Well, I suck at math. 331 million is the estimated population. So, like, take 20% of that.
Yeah, you're probably looking at about 60 to 80 million people who could potentially be evicted. And I was reading something. Just the other day.
It's crazy.
If only half of them get evicted, that's still 10 million
exactly.
people.
Yes, it's absurd. And I was reading just the other day. There was a this is an anecdote from a dude on the internet, but there was a discussion about the $600, which I had told Neif a couple days ago about how what is that $600? That $600 stimulus check is it's a martini lunch on a Monday for your average senator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's just $600 on lunch and not think anything of it.
How many people who hadn't worked in 9 to 12 months still have an active bank account to receive that deposit?
Right. How many people that do is it in the negative? So
yeah, it just lose it all right away.
It's just going to disappear.
Yep.
You know.
I reapplied for unemployment, and I finally got my deposit 2 days ago, but like the day after Christmas, I was sitting on $2.45.
Mm-hmm.
I was not in the negative, and that shit was delayed. It was supposed to be deposited on Christmas, but I didn't get it until Tuesday. Yep.
2021 is going to be the year of the red tape. The year of, could you hold please, sir? We have to transfer you to blah, blah, blah. Could you hold please, sir? Do I have a fucking choice?
The year of the red tape. That's going to be the first thing that I post the moment I'm allowed access to my Facebook page again.
Allowed access.
I think
I got banned for 24 hours.
I think of 2020 like I think of my prison career, and the first year, is like this kind of like, oh, okay, it's kind of bad, but it can't get much worse, and then like the second year, it's like, holy shit, it got so much worse, and then like the third year, and it just got worse every year. Like, and that had to do with like a commissioner change that like made militarized the whole system, So it got like more and more like really like fucked up like every year that went along, and it's like, I thought like several times it can't get much worse, Like, and it just reminds me of that same feeling at the prison. Like, oh shit, remember like when you said it could get worse, it can always get worse. Like, that's what I expect for 2021. Worse than this year. Like, everybody's like, oh shit, all these problems. It's like, y'all ain't seen shit.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
I think you're right. I think you're right 100%. 2021 is going to be a fucking shithole.
We're going to see some fucked up shit, and it's brewing right now. Like, I keep up with certain little things, and like there's a world storm coming quick, and it's going to be fucked up. Like,
Yep.
And I'm not a wacko at all. I don't want bad shit to happen. Like, but I'm paying attention.
I kind of get that rap with some people that, especially from the anarchist view of things, is that they don't understand the non-aggression principle, where it's most real anarchists and voluntarists aren't wanting everything to burn down and kill everybody. I mean, as far as politicians, I'm not going to be rushing to piss on a politician and put them out when they're on fire. But I'm not wishing death and destruction on the world. It's just the opposite. I'm wishing it to stop, and I think the first way it can stop, the quickest way to stop it, is to start dismantling this system that is based around violence.
Yeah,
monopoly on violence. They have it.
Yeah, like look at
the perspective.
Right.
Waco, I love to bring up Waco. If you saw how violently the FBI responded to those wackos out there, like they intended to brutalize them in the worst way, like because of 3 of their agents dying, breaking protocol and doing dumb shit with the wrong people. And it was like, oh, we better show the world that we will fucking bring Satan on your ass, right? And run over your children with tank
Waco was one of the most like fucking unconstitutional fucking blemishes of the American government ever.
Like fuck David Koresh, and he's a wacko piece of shit. I don't care. Like the government and how far they're willing to take it showed their ass right there, and that was some cool shit. Like
I remember seeing it live.
I saw videos where they showed like all of it, like, and I fucking wanted to.
And I mean, they straight fired. They shot fire straight out of the front end of that tank. You could see it.
No, I saw a video where an engineer explained it, and they rolled the tanks up around the edge of the part of the house to tear a hole in the bottom of the wall of the house around a sector of it. So when they shot the fire in on the other side, it sucked that fire through the whole house. And like an engineer said, this was amazing. Like, he's like, this was intentional.
Right.
And like bodies were getting drug out the house when the tank rolled through the wall, the edge of the wall, It's fucked up. Fuck them people. Because like I've met cops from FBI, TBI, and I know what those people are like. They're just an asshole cop, and for them to act like that, that's like, you got to tell yourself it's okay to hurt people and turn off. It's the opposite of the oath that they're actually supposed to be upholding.
Fuck the ATF. Fuck the ATF, fuck the feds, and fuck the DEA.
Yeah, they deserve that. Fuck them. They're a bunch of fucking cocksuckers, and I've seen them kill all kind of people to prove how strong they are. They're just a bunch of goddamn bullies. Fuck.
Well, this is the problem, though, is that regardless of which situation we end up in, like, okay, let's say that 2021 in combination with 2020 gives us an intellectual and psychological apocalypse, right? Let's say that happens, and we can look back on it in 10 years and be like, man, that was a fucking ride. Like Bill Hicks would say, it's just a fucking ride. It's just a ride. But at the end of the day, no matter what happens and what comes out of it, the only people who will ever step into a position of authority are people who automatically don't care. There's no way around it.
To value your judgment above another person and to say that, like, your way is better for another person than their way that they want for themselves. Basically, like, that's the concept of authority. Like, control another person, and that's fucked up. Just like you're saying, it's like everything about it is like the whole Bible is partly like there's a lot of messages that run through the whole Bible, but that's one of them. Like from the beginning to the end, mankind goes up above another person. Like that's the problem. You think you're better than somebody else. You value your life than somebody else.
The Old Testament God is a sociopath.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking,
I've heard a lot about that.
Speaking of controlling people and dictating what they do and don't do, does the name William Adams mean anything to you guys?
I'd have to
yes, it does. What it means is that I am older than you, Alex, and you are not allowed to sit on your sofa like that. I am exerting my authority over you.
Okay, I'm sorry, Sensei.
My authority
How
over
should I
you.
sit? How should I sit, Sensei?
You have to wear your hat sideways.
Okay. There we go. All right.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with the name.
This is weird. It's like cupping my hearing on my right side. It's throwing my hearing completely off.
As it should.
So, William Adams, is that his name? I think it's William. Was the first Englishman to reach Japan and establish trade.
I remember you telling me something about that.
A friend of mine was just telling me about this. And he came over, and, there were other people too, but the local authority took him in and started interrogating him because they're like, who the fuck are you? Just sailing up. And, he's not allowed to leave, but I believe it was probably a pretty luxurious lifestyle. He wasn't, treated poorly. So William Adams decides he's just going to stay there. And he gets a position, like in the Emperor's Council. He has and he's the first Englishman, first non-Japanese person to receive the title of samurai. So he had the ear of the shogun. I'm not exactly sure what the terminology for the hierarchy of Japanese culture, but the shogun, I think that's right. He had the ear of the authority, and he was telling him they're going to come over. The Catholics are going to come over here, and they're going to try and spread Christianity throughout Japan. And he said, this is a horrible idea. Don't listen to the fucking Catholics. Fuck those guys. And he also said, fuck the Spanish when they come. Don't listen to them. They're going to try and smuggle Christianity in also.
He's warning them about nationalists. That's so funny.
So, William Adams is the direct result of why Christians were so heavily persecuted in Japan. It was because of William Adams fucking told the Japanese people not to trust the Catholics. So it's because of something an Englishman said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an Englishman that saw what Inquisitions did, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just warning them.
No matter when, the last Inquisition, I believe, ended in 1917, and it was in Mexico, if I recall.
And you guys are familiar with the persecution of Christians in Japan?
No, I've heard about it, but not a lot about it.
It was very heavily persecuted. Christianity was outlawed. It wasn't okay to have any kind of paraphernalia. I mean, we're talking about people being tortured to death, being drowned to death. Yeah. Horrible shit, burned alive, for not renouncing Christianity, which, as a Christian, that fortifies your faith, which I think a lot of non-Christians don't understand, is you can get on the Christian hero is a martyr. So you can get
the martyr syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're just fueling a fire. You can't kill Christ with a cross. You can't kill him with, that's the whole point, is you can't kill Christianity with knives and spears. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
It can't be killed that way.
Sad. It's a sad thing, man. Because the English guy was warning them, because they literally are trying to take control of people's minds and then start to take control of your economy, because your money starts to flow their way,
Well, and if you look at how those people lived, it was very class oriented. It was ancient Japan.
Hardcore, psycho, class oriented.
There wasn't a lot of emphasis on individual freedom, and it was all about class and
three classes.
Yeah.
The government, the rich, and the poor.
Right. So Christianity was actually hugely in contradiction with a lot of Japanese culture. It actually
the show God, or the head of Japan was definitely God. The last emperor that was I'm God in Japan stepped down after the bombs dropped, if I recall, something like that.
Hirohito. I think his name is Emperor Hirohito was the last one.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So
you know that.
So yeah, hearing about that kind of was like, holy shit! It was an Englishman coming over to Japan and warning them about basically, like you were saying, Danny, basically about Inquisition was the real concern.
Yeah.
And he was also
they're trying to take control of your nation. Like that's like if I come in and then I make everyone in your land believe my ideology, and then they all start paying me money to teach them my ideology, like you straight up took over. All the people serve you now.
Right. And
it's crazy, man. I lived in Thailand for 6 years, and while I was there as a teacher, I worked with a lot of Filipinos, and there are a shit ton of Filipinos who emigrate to Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand, and they teach English. So, like, they get an English degree at their university in the Philippines, and then they go over into other parts of ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It's basically the Southeast Asian version of the UN. And they're developing their own currency and this sort of thing. But it was incredible, the number of the Filipino teachers that I worked with who were die-hard Christians. And it's like I would sit there and listen to them trying to convert me. And I'm like, you do realize that the Philippines had its own tribal faith until it was overrun by the Spanish, which is where you get Tagalog from, Tagalog is the local dialect in the Philippines, which is heavily influenced by Spanish. And Spain went over and took over the Philippines and colonized it and turned them all into Christians. And I'm sitting here listening to this like 25-year-old fucking Filipino teacher talking about their faith in Christ and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, do you even realize that like the only reason that you are a Christian at the moment is because your entire nation got overrun by the Spaniards 200 years ago?
They were mystics and they were beautiful. Like, there's a lot of cool shit back there.
Yeah.
In their culture.
It's,
super cool shit in their culture. The Philippines has this amazing culture. Like, and it's funny because, I don't know, like you hop over to Indonesia and they're predominantly Muslim, you know?
Yes. Yeah, same thing in Malaysia. In Malaysia. Too, yeah.
So,
but it's the same thing. They got stomped by those people.
Yep.
You guys.
Most ideologies are kind of gross. Just straight up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rape your culture and then inject my way of belief on you. It's disgusting.
You guys willing to play a little game I came up with?
Fire away.
Okay.
It depends. I've learned my lesson about saying I'm just willing to play a game.
Let's play a game. Let's play a game. I'm gonna. Well, step one, I'm gonna handcuff you to a radiator, and I'm gonna put the key, make you swallow it.
Well, that one bores me.
Okay. Well, here's
Give
the
you a rat and a bucket and a torch.
Well, the game I had in mind, Neif, you've already played, so this one's just gonna be for Danny and Bob.
I'm gonna get my D&D dice out.
Let's see. I'm gonna pick Bob to go first.
All right.
Okay. I want you to categorize these in significance to you, from most important to least significant. The 7 sins: wrath, gluttony, envy, lust, pride, sloth, and greed. I want you to put them into a hierarchy of 1 to 7 in relation to how is significance to you.
In significance to me, in the sense that I reject them or adopt them.
In the sense that you adopt them. Which ones do you value? Which one do you value the most? First off.
Another question. Which one do I value the most if we're going to be completely honest with ourselves?
Yeah.
Or,
I mean, this
okay.
actually, you know what? This is actually a pretty personal game. If you're not comfortable doing that, I totally understand.
No. Let's if I've got to be completely honest, let's put pride at number one.
Okay, that's exactly what I put, Bob. That's what I put for number one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm an asshole. I think too highly of myself.
So what about?
I have no choice. I got to put that one first.
What about number two?
Number two, sloth.
Okay. And number three?
Yep. Number three, gluttony.
And number four?
Actually, wrath is number two.
Okay.
And then sloth, and then gluttony. I'm a very angry person. I'm even angry about my own sloth and my own gluttony.
You're a sweetheart, Bob.
It's climbing. Breath.
I tend to not get very envious, so I would put that one at number 6.
Okay.
And wait, no, hold on. I'm running myself through the David Fincher movie.
I'm missing 5 and 7 for you.
Greed and lust are the last two.
That's correct. You skipped 5 and put envy at 6, so I need a placement for 5 and 7.
Okay, I would put envy as 5.
Okay.
And greed as number 6. I started collecting unemployment in April, and I immediately gave away $1,000.
So you're gonna put lust at 7?
To different people who weren't collecting unemployment, and they needed to like pay their phone bill or their electricity and shit. And I was like, damn, I'm like pulling in $800 a week, and this is like $1,200 more per month than I'm used to. And so I kind of started giving it away. So I would have to put greed last, and lust would be 7.
Okay.
I can get it up. I just it's kind of like been there, done that, and fucking creates too many problems, and I have too many hobbies to want to even be bothered with that shit anymore. It's like
fair enough.
I could quite honestly, I think at this point, been there, done that with so many different women, I could probably go the whole rest of my life without ever getting laid again, and I'd be fine.
Okay. Well, all right, Bob. So we got pride, wrath, sloth, gluttony, envy, greed, and lust. All right. Yep. So, Danny, if you want to play, can I go ahead and get yours? There's another step to this game. This isn't the.
It's just I don't look at.
It's like, a very personal thing.
Well, no, I don't separate like my personal corruption into categories like that, because it's all the same. Like lust is like wanting your desire, which is greed. Pride is lifting yourself up above another to shine above others. Well, that's what you got to do to want to have greed or lust or envy. All of that's the same shit to me.
I think it's a neat exercise to put them into hierarchy, though. And
I was very interested in what you meant by that. I was like, and then like the second I start thinking about any of them, I'm like, oh, well, that's all the same shit in my heart. Like wanted to get what I want. Like sloth is like wanting to stay in the state of comfort that I'm in and not wanting to go to another state, you know?
Yeah.
Like, which is great. And pride, I deserve to be lazy.
There's more to this exercise that I haven't revealed yet.
Yeah, I found it, and I kind of brought up the same thing with him when I did it, and I told him, it's hard to say order of importance, so I had to do mine based on what I felt was more personally effective or actually carried weight to me. What I felt like, was more of a specific drive.
You kind of applied it. You applied it to humanity, right? Like you said.
I applied it to human nature, to humans as an animal in survival.
Like wrath and lust
lust
have a place in nature, but sloth doesn't really have a place in nature.
Right, or gluttony does, and so I put it as lust, wrath, greed, envy, pride, sloth, gluttony.
Because
and that was my order of what I could say are the easiest, the ones that I actually look at. It's almost that carry the least weight is really the better way to say it, because as far as being a sin, you know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, what I view as a sin on that is the bottom of that list, the worst. And I went on to say, I even told him, I said, gluttony I find no use for. It actually offends me way more than lust or wrath. Because lust, I see that in nature as, okay, lust, you can relate that easily to sexuality. And it's a nature. We're here to eat,
same
sleep,
thing with wrath. Right?
And procreate. Wrath, same thing. There is wrath in nature.
This is
greed, survival. But when you get into like sloth and gluttony, then you're going against your own survival well-being. You can't quantify it. You can't justify it in there. An animal can justify greed and wrath and even pride, but and pride is about midway on the list. I'm not a big fan of pride.
My list was I put pride at the top, then envy, lust, wrath, greed, gluttony, and I put sloth at the bottom. I think
Neif is right that sloth and gluttony, they literally are the worst, because they're basically a highway straight to killing yourself slowly.
Yeah.
It's a slow suicide.
So
especially in selfishness behind it.
In combination, sloth and gluttony are you're slowly killing yourself.
Okay. I want to move. Oh, go ahead.
Well, do you want me to try to take a turn?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, as far I would look at it as like what bothers me the most on a daily basis, I suppose. But wrath is definitely something I deal with every day. Like, I'm angry every day, pretty much, the moment I wake up. But I got a lot to be angry about. And then I fight slothfulness, because I'm angry, because, not happy. So, like, slothfulness, like, just want to lay it down, which I don't do. But, after that, I don't know, like I've squashed a lot of bullshit in my psyche. I don't know.
So we got wrath, sloth, and then the remaining ones would be gluttony, envy, lust, pride.
I guess lust can cause some problems. And I deal with envy every now and then, but that's only like a resentful kind of like evil ass people getting everything they need while I work like harder than anybody I know and like don't have shit.
When I started thinking about it,
right on.
When I started thinking about it, I put pride, envy, and lust all at the top.
Mm-hmm. Like I've been like so anti-pride for so long, and I like really cast myself down for like 20 years, like pretty hard. So,
yeah.
So pride, like it's some bullshit. Like the second my brain like tries to lift me up higher than anybody else, I'm like,
all right. So we got wrath, sloth, lust, and then
envy.
Okay.
Wrath, sloth, lust, envy. Right?
Yeah.
you could put pride, I guess, in there. And greed should be last, so whatever's in between.
All right. So we've all got, yeah. We all put gluttony and sloth really low. Actually, we all agree about greed and sloth. We all think those are really unimportant. Greed and sloth. Gluttony is also really low on the list for all of us. Okay, so the next phase. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like when I lived my life like as ungreedily as I ever could have, like I was very happy, like with having enough and having enough time to be a part of the relationships I wanted to be a part of. It was worth being poor, to me.
Yeah. So, Bob?
The best, in hindsight, the best time of my life was sleeping on the riverfront in downtown Nashville on First Avenue, and then waking up every morning to go take a sponge bath at Mike's Ice Cream, and then serving coffee to all of the regulars, all the bartenders, and building a network, and then leaving and not having anywhere to go and sleeping on the riverfront. I came to Nashville completely homeless and broke. Stayed at the Mission for a while, and now that I've got furniture and a couple of guitars and some pedals, and I have the absolute privilege of working with Neif on my music. I think in hindsight, one of the best things that ever could have happened to me was being homeless.
Very interesting.
Bob, can I get you to put these into a hierarchy the same way we did with the last ones? I'm going to throw some more at you.
Are we looking at the planets yet? Because I want to do the 7 planets from Renaissance alchemy, because we're very dangerously close to formulating a 7-part star alchemical system.
Oh shit! Well,
I would put Saturn as number 1.
Well, next, that's definitely interesting. But next, we're going to look at virtues, and I'd like you to put these into a hierarchy of significance.
Okay.
We've got kindness, humility, chastity.
Wait, hold on, stop. Just because of the kind of person that I am, I've got the 7 deadly sins like the back of my fucking hand. But if you're gonna rattle off 7 virtues and ask me to put them in order of significance,
yeah,
I'm gonna need to write them down as you recite them.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let me get a pen.
I've got a dry erase board behind me.
Yeah.
Do you? Oh,
the new setup.
Brilliant.
I thought that's what that looked like. I learned from the dude with the dry erase board for years. I was like, yeah, that looks just like old dude that I used to study Bible with.
Neif with the save.
Pull it up, Neif. I would
pull that shit up, Neif.
Be eternally grateful for that.
All right, so we got diligence.
I can't see Neif unless he talks.
Oh, that's real tiny. I can't see it.
Larger.
You're gonna have to write bigger.
You can see it. It says DI. He's about to complete the word dick.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Of course, Neif's just drawing dicks on the board instead of... Yeah, we got diligence, patience.
I just can't spell for anything.
Oh, that's okay.
I can tell you what stuff means. I can't tell you how to spell it.
That part of the brain don't work too good.
What did I do? Did I mess with me here?
We got diligence, patience.
There you go.
Liberty, abstinence, humility, kindness, and chastity.
Patience, liberty.
Abstinence, humility.
Kind.
chastity as a virtue. That's some fucking Catholic guilt bullshit.
That was. I think I put that at the bottom.
I'm just gonna lay that out there. That's automatically left.
Humility is at the bottom of mine.
I mean,
Bob, that is so funny. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, we all put it chastity at 7. That's so funny.
I'm
actually, I did not put it.
I knew the second you said them. I was like, yeah, chastity and abstinence, very bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Lust is not, like I said, lust is not something that has ever really affected my life. But I would totally say that in order of importance, chastity's got to go in the trash.
All right. So let's start with the bottom. Let's put chastity at 7.
All right. For Bob, chastity is 7.
If you can see the rest of those, go ahead and give me your numbers.
It's so funny that we're starting at the bottom of like our least valuable fucking person.
I think for me, how often I am put in a position where I really ought to apologize for being an asshole. I'm gonna put humility as number 1.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's a good one.
Abstinence would be number 6.
Hell yeah.
But no, wait, hold on, because abstinence is the opposite of gluttony in this case, whereas chastity would be the opposite.
That's correct.
Kindness is number 2.
Okay.
Patience is number 3.
Okay.
Diligence is number 4. And then liberty.
All right.
And then abstinence.
Abstinence is 6.
Man,
Yeah.
Everybody I've talked to about this has put abstinence and chastity very, very low. That's so funny to me. It's like everyone's like, yeah, ain't no square. So, okay. All right. So I put diligence at 1, patience at 2. Diligence, patience, liberty. Oh, wait. No. That's not right. I put diligence, liberty, kindness, patience, humility, abstinence, and chastity. Bob put humility, kindness, patience, diligence, liberty, abstinence, and chastity. Now, what about you, Danny?
Went too fast.
I would put patience at the top. Because if you're not patient, you're not going to be able to do none of that other shit. And I would put kindness at number 2. And then I would put diligence as number 3, because once you start talking to people, you're going to have to be diligent if you're going to keep being patient. Really wear you out. And Neif, say something for me.
What's that?
Liberty would be my next one.
Okay.
4.
Let's see. And then humility, and humility could have really fit in a lot of places, but humility next, and then you can put abstinence and chastity at the bottom there.
Cool. Okay.
Alex, what was yours again?
Mine is diligence, liberty, kindness, patience, and humility is only above abstinence and chastity.
Sorry,
I think it's really interesting, Alex, how like humility is basically the opposite of pride in this instance, and how like when I was answering your first question, I had listed pride as number 1 because I feel like that's the one that
Bob,
I have the most problems.
Hey, Alex, what you sent me, I think, is different on that. I think you changed your.
Oh, I must have changed mine. Bob, you jumped ahead of me here, because that's exactly what I was going to talk about. The reason I had you guys do this is so that we could cross-reference the two. Because once you have these two lists, you can compare. Okay, so my number one value is diligence. So I can go and look at my other list, and I can see that I put sloth as number 7. So that tells me that I've got that incorrect alignment with myself. I've put sloth very low at the bottom, and I put diligence at the top. So then, yeah. So
mine was kind of cold.
But then you see other areas where it doesn't add up. Areas where you can work on it. Like, let's see. I put...
Wait, Alex, so basically, from what I understand, what you're saying is that the way that I listed things, you basically turned it upside down.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when I said that pride was number 1, for the purposes of this exercise, you're putting it at the bottom.
What I'm saying is, if your actions and your words are in alignment with each other, then your lists should mirror each other in reverse.
Yeah. So I think what I'm getting at is that my initial list of pride at the top and then lust at the bottom, you ought to flip it upside down. Because when I listed off the 7 deadly sins, I was talking about being honest and saying the ones that affect me the most.
Right, but I think that's what I'm looking for, Bob.
Where kind of like with Danny, where it was like, what do I think?
Bob, that's kind of what I'm looking for, though, because it's supposed to
serves me the most, or you think is makes somebody worthless more. You know.
Well, I also think it is about being honest with yourself, because then it shows you can look at the left and see your virtues and see what you value, and then you can see on the other side what it is you do. So it's better if it reflects your actions.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is I think what you need to do is you need to take my initial list of the 7 deadly sins and flip it upside down.
That would put lust at number 1, though.
So that pride would be number 7 and humility would be number 1.
Well,
you get what I'm saying?
Well,
humility's a
virtue.
Virtues, not one of the
that would make lust number 7, Bob. I mean, lust number 1 for you.
Yes. And therefore, chastity would be number 7.
Is number 1.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Wait, no.
Be a mirror in that sense, or
yeah. Okay, so
am I confused?
I think I've got you. I think you've got it right, though. You want.
Well, you would initially ask me in order of importance, and
okay. Let me just ask you if this is correct then. Lust number 1, greed number 6, envy number 5.
It's the way that I answered the first question was that lust has the least effect on my life.
Okay, so I would in what I'm trying to gather from you, I would put that at 7 then.
Okay, cool. Then keep it as is.
Yeah. So okay, so we got pride at 1, and we've got humility at 1 for Bob, which is interesting. Because you put both of those at the top. And then for Danny, we got wrath is 1, but patience is 1. And those are counterpoints. So Danny, you're saying, wrath is something you work on, but you also understand that it's an issue, which is why you put patience so highly. Which that's interesting. I think this is an interesting exercise.
Which is exactly why I put pride as the number one thing that affects my life.
Yeah.
And then humility as the number one thing that I think I should strive for.
Right. Yeah, you both did that. Yeah.
That's the exercise, right? Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Whereas,
cool. So,
you can see though that like I put pride at 1, but I have humility way down at 5. So I obviously don't think it's an issue. So
it's interesting that you can see in something like that. That's
Yeah.
a cool little term.
isn't it? I thought of this while I was in a heavily altered state, and I was
That's
just
funny.
like, I think I'm fucking onto something here. What the hell? This is a neat little exercise.
That's cool.
Well, looking at him now, it's funny because Alex sent this to me on a message. And looking at it now, compared, lined up, especially with the virtues, a sin, because with the sins, it can get a little ethereal with that. But when you look at this, because this is more the action, the more positive side of that. Yeah. It's odd, really, looking at the similarities, and then looking at some of the major differences.
Right.
I'm
gonna go pee, but I'll be right back, guys. You guys keep on trucking without me.
I mean, we're pretty much all in.
It's funny, yeah.
The chastity is like, what is that? What does that even mean?
Like to get in a battle with yourself over some bullshit, and rather than putting everything where it belongs, like your desires have a place where they belong, use them responsibly.
That's it. I'm reminded of the Monty Python skit in Meaning of Life, where they have the song that says, "Every sperm is sacred, every sperm is great. If a sperm is wasted, God gets quite irate." Chastity is bullshit. Yeah, chastity is a product of propaganda.
Oh yeah, straight up, and like some really twisted propaganda. It's been around for 3,000 plus years, 5,000 at least.
Danny, it's Catholic guilt.
But they aren't the only ones. Lots of people have been doing it,
they're just.
But definitely Catholic for sure. Without a doubt, it's
I noticed we all put patience somewhere different, and liberty.
Yeah, liberty was I understand liberty in the sense that it promotes responsibility. So I could have put it at number one, and then the second I thought that, I realized that I was just being true to myself when I put, patience up there.
Well, what you said about patience is similar to what I said about diligence, which Alex and I both put as number one. Where you're saying, you have to have the patience to do anything, and I basically said, I'll look at this as this. I even on the message I even told him, I said, this is Tundra way. This is the way of the Tundra. This is Tundra law. And that's how I wrote out with the sin thing. What really makes a difference? The lowest of the sins will affect the tribe more. The highest of the sins, lust, could be understood or tolerated more. You know what I mean? There's a little more tolerance in the tribe for that. Whereas, I'm saying without diligence, you can't do anything, unless you're true. And it's a lot what you're saying with patience, And I guess it's a lot of this is perspective too. It's kind of how we translate these terms.
I'm a diligent motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Right, and you got it up there high too,
But that's probably why I value patience more. And Alex said, it's interesting that it's opposite of rap. I really try not to be mad.
Patience was my second because, like you're saying, you can't get anything done unless you're patient in this world.
Well, here's something.
You got to be diligent with yourself to make yourself do it.
Here's something that's funny. I had my roommate David take that, and he's a vegetarian, but he put gluttony very high on his list because he still feels guilty about his impact, like his footprint. So even though I would never consider him a gluttonous person, it makes sense that he would put that high on his list because it's something.
I think he put it high on the list the same reason I put it low on mine, where he feels that it's put somebody the lowest. It's a lower form of a sin. It's one of the it's a worse sin.
Yeah.
if you really want to put them as a bad thing, I try not to look at sins as a bad thing.
But he just thinks about his footprint a lot, and like that's something that he is very conscious about. So it makes sense that he would put gluttony so high,
Right.
Like you're saying.
The reason that I put liberty so low is because I think that even without your freedom, you can still be humble, kind, patient, and diligent.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. That's dope.
Yeah.
And you don't need liberty in order to be kind to people.
I
Or
know.
to be diligent and patient. Yeah.
I think liberty is
more
really.
of a decent story, like to a large degree.
I think liberty is really important, though. I put it really high up.
I noticed some of the major differences, like Bob put humility as one, and we all kind of have it elsewhere. And then at the same time, you look, I've got abstinence as 4, and y'all are like, yeah, whatever.
It's just such a neat
I really
exercise.
think it's a perspective thing. I really think it's how we perceive the term.
Right. Exactly.
Abstinence to me isn't just not taking substance.
It's exactly.
Abstinence to me is discipline.
Danny hit the nail on the head really early on. Categorizing the sins seems weird because they all kind of blend together. But that's kind of why I wanted you guys to do it, because how you guys put that into category is interesting.
Y'all, I gotta go put the pancake or the waffle batter away real quick. I will be back. We got like about 15 minutes till New Year's.
Oh boy. Almost about to live through 2020. It's going down. It's exciting. Neif, your mic's off. There it goes.
Yeah, I'm about to go run if I don't want to just leave it on. Do either of y'all recognize the picture that's on my background? Hold on. When I turn off my camera, you'll see.
I love the big, Armageddon apocalypse tentacle monster.
That was Cthulhu. That's the thing that should not be.
Yeah, that shit is dope.
Is that Lizzie Borden?
Is it?
No.
It's the bell wits.
You guys have any resolutions this year?
Try to survive 2020.
That's good.
Pay rent for February.
Yeah. What about you, David? Do you have any resolutions this year?
You can come have a seat if you like.
Okay.
There's all this couch.
That's a lot of couch.
You
Yeah,
could-
but you can't really sprawl out and look all like royalty while I'm over there.
I can just lay on top of you.
Oh, I see how it is.
Alex, we got to talk about religion sometime.
We can talk about religion right now.
Right now.
Well, there were some things in our last podcast that I've been meaning to
I want to have you.
say.
I definitely want to have you on in like a more official way, like not like this, but like really sit down and like get into the nitty gritty of it, But we can definitely touch on some stuff now though, and then still do that.
What was I going to say? This is a cool way to spend the New Year's if I wasn't doing shit. I got a phone call at 8 o'clock this morning that I had to go stack a cell tower in the rainstorm.
Damn.
Because the other crew bitched out on it.
Damn.
And the company paid for the crane, and so they called my company being like, "Hey, y'all got some guys that'll come do it." So
Fuck.
it was 3 hours away.
Well, that was the day.
So, yeah, it was a rough day actually. So this is the way to spend the New Year.
Yeah.
Michael, I'm just sitting here stuck in my bong, looking at my cell phone. Which is actually what I'm doing.
I'm glad you're
Sorry,
here,
buddy.
man. It's this is how I'm I'd like to spend it as well. Just kicking the shit, you know. We're pre-gaming the end of the world.
You know, Armageddon has been trying to go down. Like COVID, like interrupted it. It was like Iran was like, we're about to attack Israel. Like I was like, I mean, maybe the news press like was fake, but like I'm pretty sure it was real. That they were like straight up, like we're gonna go attack Israel, and Israel was like gearing up for it, like come the fuck on, bitch. And then COVID happened, and it just like stopped. Like, and it's already heating up over there. So I don't know. It just takes an army marching across the border there in northern Israel, like to like get close to Mount Megiddo, like they'll go through Syria, you know. And like that'll be Armageddon, like straight up out the Bible. Like it'll be weird if it happens.
The way Bob was outlining apocalypse earlier, it makes a lot of sense because the way the world is dead. The world did end. The world as we know it. It happened. It happened already, honestly, and
like the way that we interact with it. Yes, very much so.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much. I know Bob. I know you're familiar with Crowley pretty well. You know he very dramatically and flamboyantly pronounced the death of Christianity in 1914, and he said, as times progress forward, we're going to see more people turning within for answers rather than looking above, and he said it's going to be very idolistic, like it's going to be about self-worship. And if you look at the gods of today, that's exactly what we're looking at. The idols we build up are Justin Bieber and Billie Eilish, and these are our gods today. Miley Cyrus. Those are the present day gods. That's what people worship.
And the Japanese people knew it. That's why they called them idols.
Yeah.
You know? I thought it was awesome. Like, wow, they all about it.
That's
Neil Gaiman's American Gods.
Yeah. That he touched on it very well. He described the new.
I think it's some Nietzsche shit too.
Yeah.
You know, God is dead. That's what Nietzsche meant. Like to our society, God's dead and Christianity's dead.
I saw an excellent.
I think what Nietzsche really meant when he said God is dead is that if we suddenly found out right now that there is no God, it would have no bearing whatsoever on our society or our life or civilization or anything like that. We would just keep moving on.
Bob,
and so therefore it doesn't matter.
That's right.
God might as well be dead. And that's exactly what Nietzsche meant, was that when he said God is dead, he wasn't professing atheism. What he was talking about,
we don't need God,
was the idea that if we suddenly did find out one way or the other that there is a God or that there isn't God, nothing would change.
Yeah.
We would still go to Kroger, we would still buy our groceries, we would still pay our bills. Nothing would change.
That's right.
And therefore, it doesn't matter whether or not God is real or is not real.
You hit the nail on the head, Bob.
Philosophically, with respect to civilization, there might as well not be a God. Because regardless of what happens, if we find out one way or another, nobody's life is going to change.
That's true.
You still got to go to work.
I saw a brilliant post. It said, name something that Americans think is Christian, but isn't. And, people gave...
It should be the first thing I heard.
Yeah, and, there's people, were saying there's, like Christmas, the cross. But then someone said America as something...
Yeah, that's the truth.
Something that is not Christian, but Americans think it is America.
That's straight up. That's a good answer right there. I was about to be like communion because it's like cannibalism, which is pagan, but I mean that ritualistically.
That's straight up. We don't live in a Christian country. I'm sorry. That's not. We like Bob and you both were saying.
Illegal over here for a while and longer in different states. So I think it was Christmas was illegal in Tennessee in like 1850 or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it was Catholicism in their minds at that point.
No, I'm reminded of the fact that statistically, worldwide, more people recognize the golden arches of McDonald's than they do the crucifix.
Wow, that's fascinating, and it represents such a whack thing. Like,
Oh yeah,
and that's true. It's true.
McDonald's is another one of those big gods.
yeah,
Lord McDonald.
Yeah, greed, sloth, lust, all that shit going down. Like,
Lord McDonald, god of gluttony.
yeah, like evil shit happening all around it.
Jeff Bezos, god of greed.
I was just going to say his name. Fuck you. God damn it. Yeah, same page, man. That motherfucker, like, his net worth at the moment is like approaching $700 billion. In another 10 years, he will literally be the history's first trillionaire, and this is the only thing that he gives a shit about.
Wow. Fuck that motherfucker. Hopefully he's doing something really cool with it, you know? Like, that's all I can actually say.
Hope so.
Well, at least Elon Musk is trying a little bit.
It's cool. I mean, and he fucked Grimes, like, props. Like, that's a cool chick to fucking bang.
I forgot when I was talking about tHe Mashed earlier. I forgot to bring up. He was also saying that there is a base on Mars underground, that there are already humans working on it there, in collaboration with aliens.
Well, that'd be cool.
And he was saying this is why Mars projects are not getting funded, because we're already there.
Yeah. You already got like, yeah, you kind of stay away.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because my perspective is, if you look at every single one of Elon Musk's businesses, every single one of them is an aspect designed to create a Martian base. He's got batteries, massive batteries, like you can put them on the side of your house and they will absorb energy from the solar panels. He's got a business in solar panels.
You know how badly I want a Tesla truck?
Right.
I'm not even impressed with the car that much.
Tesla.
The cars are great. Those trucks are ridiculous.
Here's the thing though. Neif. Tesla is everything that Elon Musk does is entirely designed to put him, not himself maybe, but to put people on Mars and live on Mars.
It's forward technology. Let's not make something that can run around just here. Let's make something that can run around on fucking Mars, and then it'll run around here fine.
Tesla is not about us, you and I, having battery-powered cars.
Right.
Tesla is all about having a reliable Land Rover on Mars for when people are there. The solar panels, the space rockets, the Boring Company. You think he created the Boring Company so that he could create a fast, so that he could build a fast train, so that he could build a fast train from San Francisco to LA? Bullshit. He made the Boring Company because he knows damn well that when they build bases on Mars, they're going to have to be underground.
Right. The greatest thing you can do is
all of it. Every single thing this guy does, every business that he has, from the Boring Company to Tesla to SpaceX to the batteries, are all everything that you could possibly need to live and thrive on a foreign planet long term. That's this guy's MO, his entire MO. He's a raging fucking asshole, but God bless the dude. You know, I hope to see him send people to Mars. I really do.
We've got balls dropping in 5 minutes. There are some prepubescent balls dropping.
Oh, Jesus.
Let us observe.
Oh,
Let us observe this monumentous occasion.
I got some good Cheerwine CBD
Do
flower here.
Neif, do you have any New Year's footage you can pull up?
New Year's
You got too much hair. I wanna take a photo of your.
Let me see. What?
You wanna show me your balls?
Oh.
Yeah, balls. Let's see some balls.
I was hoping the killer would be relaxing on his back on the sofa as he does with his dick and his balls out because my little Pomeranian killer is not fixed.
Don't look at Times Square.
Well, let's look at Times Square. What's going on there? Is it a fucking?
Let's see. What are we gonna look at it on now? Let's see. Not we want NBC.
Running around in the dining room.
We want Turn It Up World. Times Square, New York. Yeah, that's just the Times Square, New York. We should be good with that. Do you want me to share my screen and let us see this, or?
Yeah.
Wait. Neif.
Uh-huh.
Who was the Lizzie Borden woman?
Really?
Yeah, I didn't recognize it. I'm foggy. I may have caught COVID. I'm a little foggy in the mind. I didn't recognize the woman.
Who is that? Like old ass photo,
Yeah.
Hey,
who
Bob.
was it?
I guess you didn't hear. COVID got canceled after election. COVID doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes of COVID left.
Yeah. So if you have COVID, it won't exist in a couple minutes.
They're counting down right now.
So don't worry about it.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
Yeah.
Poopy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year's in New York, y'all.
Yay, New York. Is there a lot of people there, Neif?
No. Absolutely not. You want to look at it?
Yeah, pull it up. Pull that shit up, Jamie.
All right.
Wait, is it officially 2021?
In New York?
Our clock says we got 2 minutes with the New York ball drop.
Oh,
Hold on,
shit.
let me-
Oh, shit. Did you guys hear this?
Oh, here we go again.
Yay.
like switching like that.
But it's Bill. Oh, no, they put the new one up. Hell, I don't know. What do they just like?
Of course it's going up. The world is upside down.
Yes. I'm living in the cyberpunk books that I've read. Not the video game, the books.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Planet Fitness has a little bit of money in this one.
I hear.
Yeah, hey, Neif, are you sure this isn't a cut scene from Cyberpunk 2077?
I hear a lot of either fireworks or gunshots outside. It could be either one.
There's fireworks all over my neighborhood. Did I get my guest pass to get on?
Wait, guys, hold on a second. Do you hear this?
Yeah.
That's my landlord knocking. I'm getting evicted right now.
What? Oh.
Fuck, 2021 is going to be such a shit show. Oh my god. How could you possibly be $20,000 behind on rent in San Francisco?
It's the year of Planet Fitness and Gia. All right, are we done with this?
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Life is great. Everyone's happy. It's
Yes,
yay.
everything that
Yeah.
everything wrong that was wrong is now fixed.
5, 4, 3, 2.
There are either people shooting guns into the sky or there's fireworks. It honestly sounds like guns.
The other one sounded like a.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
Yeah.
guns. David concurs that it sounded like gunshots.
I mean, some of them definitely are fireworks, but
And they might just be blanks.
Bound to happen.
Maybe it's just the bombing raids, you know?
Yeah, dude, that Nashville bombing shit was weird, y'all. And
Yeah,
I wanted to bring this
let's
up.
talk about it. Yeah.
The Sturgill Simpson is some country music star who got like album of the year for one of his albums, you know, or something bullshit. And like some really high up like Japanese animation people, like guys that worked on the Animatrix and like Onimusha, like weird shit, you know.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Video for him. And
Oh,
in
shit.
this crazy ass anime, it's dope. It's anime. It's like straight, like real by Japanese people, Japanese anime. It's sick. And he flies an airplane into
Danny,
Yeah.
what's it called? What's it called?
Sound of Fury. It was on Netflix.
Okay.
Like you gotta. I think it should still be on Netflix. I hadn't checked, but no. In the video, he shows downtown Nashville, and this is anime.
You think it's on the YouTube?
Like
You think it clips on
I
YouTube?
couldn't find, dude. I searched for it when the bomb went off, and I can't find it nowhere. Like I was gonna have to go watch it and take a picture, but my internet ain't working where I live, so I hadn't watched it yet. But no, they fly a bomb into the Batman building, you know, the AT&T building, like, and they blow it up, and you know, there's like robotic veteran, like cyborg veterans running for their
What the
lives, like
fuck?
catching on fire. Like, and it's downtown Nashville with like Tennessee state flags catching on
What the
fire and
fuck?
burning away. Like, it's just kind of ironic that he's got a bomb going off like a block from where the bomb went off.
Damn.
And targeting AT&T at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time. Yeah, and this came out like I made a post about it in October 2019 because I was like, damn, Nashville's in an anime, blowing the fuck up. Props, like, because I thought it was a funny thing to say, because it was Nashville blowing up in an anime. Like, but yeah, so I think that's really weird. And the COVID Wuhan thing being in a 1981, like, you know, sci-fi novel, or, you know, espionage novel, like that really happened too. That's weird. Like, I think somebody's fucking with us. Weird shit.
I think on this note, Danny, I think you're gonna love this. You guys are familiar with obviously Jeffrey Epstein. Yes.
Yeah.
And William Barr,
I
the
think I've
the
seen
Attorney
it.
General,
Yeah.
William Barr. Well, William Barr's father hired Jeffrey Epstein to be hold on, bear with me because this gets really fucking cool if we're going to talk about parallel universes. So this is a segue. So William Barr is the Attorney General under Trump. William Barr's father was the superintendent of a school, and he hired Jeffrey Epstein as a math teacher. William Barr's father also published a novel about aliens coming to Earth and harvesting children for sex.
Right.
Little known novel. Yes. Now, let's go back about 80 years. There is a virus called the Epstein-Barr virus. Spelled exactly the same way. Epstein, Epstein -Barr. Epstein and Barr were two biologists, scientists who discovered the cause of mononucleosis. Mono, which is caused by a version of HPV. And mono is, if you don't already know and you haven't already caught it, is spread primarily by promiscuous 13-year-olds. Jeffrey Epstein preferred 13-year-olds. William Barr was overseeing him in his cell while he, quote-unquote, killed himself. So,
Wow.
the cause of mononucleosis, which is an STD spread primarily by promiscuous 13-year-olds, is named the Epstein-Barr virus, and which is a type of HPV. And later on in the 2000s, Epstein and Barr, Jeffrey Epstein and William Barr. Now, what I think, maybe, if we want to get a little bit Philip K. Dick with this shit, maybe, just maybe, we've traveled over into a parallel universe sometime about 10 years ago. And now we're stuck here. And we've got Jeffrey Epstein and William Barr trafficking 13-year-olds. The latter defending the other.
This shit outside's giving me Vietnam flashbacks. I'm fucking.
I mean, like it doesn't get weirder than this. And literally, look it up. Neif, I see you smoking that joint. Neif, look it up right now. Epstein-Barr virus. Look it up
You
on
can look up the
Wikipedia.
similarities between Abraham
Right
Lincoln and John F. Kennedy, and that shit's like from another dimension.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's crazy. And I don't know, like the Simpsons telling the future, that's also sort of making me believe in interdimensional time travel.
Well, and then the creator of Simpsons made Futurama.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Trapper. Happy New Year.
Well,
Trapper, this shit outside is giving me Vietnam flashbacks, man.
Dude, you are not lying about that. You should have seen me. I fucking pulled out my AK and started popping off at everyone in the neighborhood.
Bruh. Yeah, it reminds me of when we were in the trenches together, you know?
Yeah, you
Back in the day.
You ain't lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you gonna do it tonight? Happy New Year to y'all.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Apparently,
Apparently,
apparently this is going off. If I can see,
Trapper, this is Bob and Danny, and you know
gonna
Neif.
go off again. Okay, you
Um,
guys.
Nice to meet you guys. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Hold on. I think they're gonna fire off some more. Oh, come on. Give me some more. This is lame.
well, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bob. What were we talking about?
Oh, no. It's okay. I just it's like we're going to talk about parallel universes. Like it's totally incredible, and the evidence is really there. And it's one of those fascinating things where it's like, as much of a cunt. I love that word, cunt.
Me too. That's a great word.
Don't judge me for it. But as much of a
It's
cunt
a good word.
as Elon Musk is,
Nothing bites worse than that, you fucking cunt.
yeah, there was this really cool interview that Elon Musk did a while back, where somebody who thought that he was smarter than Musk stood up in the audience and got the microphone and was like, "What are the odds that we are living in a simulation?" And Elon Musk started laughing, and his first initial response was, once a week, my brother and I sit in the jacuzzi, and we promised that when we're in the jacuzzi, we would never talk about simulation theory. And that was his response. And, of course, the host is laughing. So obviously, Elon Musk does not want to answer this question, and the guy with the microphone was like, "You didn't answer the question," and dot dot dot. And Elon Musk just like looks at him, dead faced, and it's like, if you run the math, there is a 1 in billion chance that this is base reality. 1 in a billion chance that this is base reality and that it's not a simulation created by another civilization.
So
And if you look at it, like the math actually works out. The
Bob.
math works out. Like the odds that we are actually human and prioritizing our deadly sins and our virtues is next to nothing.
Bob, could you call that original civilization God then? Would that be our God?
No, because obviously something came before that. I think if you really want to get serious, about what is God, it's the Higgs boson.
Might as well be. Yeah,
Yeah,
I consider God
sure.
to be whatever like manifested the universe and holds it being into existence. You know, which could be a program at this point, like in the conversation. They made a video game about that simulation theory. It was called Star Ocean. I think it was Till the End of Time. And the video game characters journey through intergalactic space and realize that they're in a video game simulation because there's these delete dragons deleting the universe, you know? And so they learn to get out the computer somehow and find out that the lab split that ran their program for their universe. And
Oh my God! Are you gonna hate me?
like, they're deleting it. They gotta stop. Like,
You're gonna put this in there?
I was thinking about it.
I just made a piece of it.
Yes, I know.
I'm stealing from the children.
No, you need to know.
I've played a little bit of Star Ocean. I didn't know that's what it was about though.
the Till the End of Time one, I guess it was a game. It was dope.
That's cool.
You don't already
What
have
game is
black
it?
eyed peas in here? No.
Star Ocean.
All of it.
It's ours.
I don't think I played it.
Have you guys played Nier? I fucking love Nier.
Right, I played Raider.
I just picked it up on PS5.
Oh
I have
fuck,
not
dude.
played it in years, dude.
Wait.
It's,
Which one? Nier or Nier Automata?
Automata.
Okay. Yeah, that one's really good too. The first one's better, honestly. They're,
Automata with Antonio Banderas. You guys talking about the movie?
No. We were talking about Nier. Yeah, a game called Nier and its sequel called Nier Automata. They're fucking great games. They're re-releasing the first Nier on Steam pretty soon, which
really?
I'm really fucking hype about that. It's the original Japanese version because the thing about that game is there's two versions. There's Nier Gestalt and there's Nier Replicant. And Nier Replicant is the American version, or is Gestalt the American version? No, Replicant.
No, the Replicant's Japanese version.
Yeah.
Version 1.22.
So the version, so it's basically the same story. You're saving this girl, but the American version, you're playing as the father saving the girl. And in the Japanese version, you're playing as the brother of the girl. But that's the biggest change in the versions, as far as I know. I don't even know why they decided to do it that way, but like it's literally the same character. What changes is the relation to the girl, whether you're her brother or her father. It's really interesting.
I've never played the original Nier.
Man,
so.
it's such a mind fuck. It's one of those just total mind fuck games. You played Automata, so you got a taste of that already. Yeah. Automata, like it's cool. Like Automata is really cool, but like if you haven't played Nier, you don't really know how it connects to Nier. Like, because Nier Automata is like 10,000 years in the future. It's some pretty trippy shit. Like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like 10,000 years after the first NieR. NieR is like the most fucking like trippy fucking Salvador Dali goddamn just mindfuck ever. I was just watching GDQ of NieR. Games done quick. Like speedruns of it. It's fucking cool game. But yeah,
I haven't seen him do any speedruns of it.
Man, anyone who hasn't played those games really I highly recommend them.
100%. It was recommended to me by a friend. I don't regret it.
Yeah, if you like psychological thrillers, that's kind of, it falls in that vein. But it's highly trippy, like fantasy setting, psychedelic kind of thing.
It's made by Square Enix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Square Enix title.
They're like the masters of those type of games.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like Final Fantasy is pretty hit or miss. Like some of them are really good, some of them are not. Like Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy Tactics are some of my favorite games, but I didn't care much for 15. Yeah.
I was so disappointed with Final Fantasy X. Wait, not 10. It was 12.
No,
because they ascended into heaven and they were going to fight God, and they got all the way up to like killing God, and then they like stopped the game, and you didn't like. It was like built up for this end boss, and it like didn't happen.
That's every Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy starts with like saving the princess or saving a fucking cat out of a tree, doing some side quests, and then at the end you're fighting God. You fucking kill God. That's every Final Fantasy.
In Final Fantasy 12, and I was pissed because it was really cool. Like,
I never beat 12. I enjoyed it, what I played of it though.
Dude, 12 was amazing. It was the first different Final Fantasy, like the different play style. Yeah. I actually
you
just
guys
picked
remember
up
Final Fantasy on the Game Boy?
Which one?
Which one?
I didn't play it on the Game Boy. No, that's interesting that you mentioned
The
it.
very first one I ever played on the Game Boy.
Do you remember what it was? It Final Fantasy Advance?
I think that was like Final Fantasy 2, which was like.
Do you guys remember Crash Test Dummies? The video game Crash Test Dummies? Neif, did you ever play that?
Mm-hmm.
I never played it, but I remember when they put a game out of it because they were
They had the toys too.
Right, and it was from the public service announcements about safety, and they had the dudes on there, and they became such a popular thing that they marketed them.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and those Crash Test Dummies, they always have them in there. Don't be a dummy was the slogan. Buckle up.
They had the little cars that you could wreck, and they like crash into the.
That's crazy. Final Fantasy VII was probably my favorite, and I haven't played the remake yet, but I just picked it up. And I haven't downloaded it.
Is that the one with Cloud and the giant sword?
Yeah.
I think that was the only other one I played.
That's actually one of my.
I mean, and I wasn't that into turn-based. It just wasn't my thing. But that one I dug.
See, they changed that in the remake. It's like a live action.
I like it.
They
turn-based. Like you can switch in between live action or turn-based whenever you want.
There's
It felt really similar, but it wasn't as in depth. And I think it was because they had a real hard time producing the game, but it should get better as they keep releasing them.
I actually I didn't care much for Final Fantasy VII. That's one of my least favorites, but I really like I really like the remake though.
I need to. I'm ready to play it. Like I said, I haven't downloaded it yet, but I've heard some mixed things about it because
my biggest
who is the writer for it? The story writer.
Oh, you're thinking of Tetsuya Nomura?
Yeah, they said that he really fucked up the story. That it just gets toward the end, and then he just completely fucking goes off the rails with it.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you, it's not Final Fantasy VII. You're in for a fucking disappointment if that's.
That's what I heard.
If you're in for if you're expecting a sequel,
I liked it. I'm a big fan. I played Final Fantasy original one like 7 or 8, 9, 10 times. I don't know. Like I still play the original. I like it. Like.
My biggest
who's the executive producer on the Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts games?
You're thinking of Tetsuya Nomura.
Yeah,
he's actually the
I've met him. I've met him. He a year and a half ago,
What the fuck?
2 years ago, he came into Mike's Ice Cream, and he was wearing a badge with his name on it, and there was a game convention at Bridgestone.
Tetsuya Nomura walked into Mike's Ice Cream. What the fuck?
He had come into Mike's Ice Cream, and I was working with my buddy Jeff, and I made him an ice cream cone with cookies and cream, and he sat at the table and ate it, and he was with a colleague, and when he got up and went to the bathroom, I went over to the colleague and I told my friends, I was like, I fucking know this guy. I know this guy's name. I don't know where from, but I know his fucking name. And we looked it up, and it was like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, executive producer, ... And so when he got up and went into the bathroom, I went over to his colleague and I was like, I don't want to distract and be a nuisance or anything like that because he just wants to eat his ice cream. But I just want to let you know that I know who he is. And his colleague was female, younger, like in her late 20s. And she was like, are you serious? Like, you know who he is? I was like, of course I know who he is. Like, I grew up on this shit. And she was like, do you want to meet him? Do you want to talk to him? I was like, no.
I would be like,
no.
Yeah.
No, I told her. I was
like 7 years old. Like, man.
I know. But I told her, I was like, respectfully, the only reason I'm talking to you right now is because he's hiding in the bathroom and he can't hear me talking to you. I just wanted to let you know that I know who he is, and he's only here to enjoy his ice cream, not to be hounded by people who adore him and whatnot. And
that's so considerate.
I was like, I want you to know that I know who he is. And
I really tripped him out, man. That was pretty cool.
I told her, I was like, when he comes out of the bathroom, that's the end of it. I'm gonna go back to work. And so I went back to work and behind the line and serving other customers, and he came out of the bathroom and he finished his ice cream and whatnot. And she couldn't help herself. Before they left, she brought him over. And he said to me in very, very broken English, because the guy does not speak much English at all, he said, "Best ice cream ever. Thank you." And I was like, "Thank you.
So
you have a great day."
I got a story.
And he left, and that was it. And it was just like, it was like one of my proudest fucking, like, one of those moments where it was like, I grew up on this guy's shit. Like, this guy created a headspace.
So I got one for you guys.
For an entire generation. And I got to serve him ice cream.
That's sick.
Like, this is like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it was a Mike's ice cream. It was a Mike's ice cream on 2nd Avenue, which is destroyed now. But, you know, is what it is.
Dude, that shit crazy, man. That bomb shit, like that you mentioned it, like I was not expecting it to look like, you know, a place that we bomb with missiles in other countries, but that's what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking crater, man. Like that shit's like almost a foot deep.
Is there any relevance to there being like ballot investigation evidence going on over there? Like, is that true? Is that just talk? Like,
no, they found the guy's body part.
Oh shit!
It was suicide bombing.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yep.
Guys, MF Doom died yesterday.
No, he died in October. They just announced it Thursday.
He passed away October 31st.
That's funny.
Oh.
That's weird shit. Like, we didn't tell y'all, but he's been dead for a minute.
Yeah.
Man.
I still don't think they released a reason.
Shit,
well,
dude.
No, they haven't. What was strange was on December 12th, there was even tweets coming from his account. Like, his marketing manager was still using his social media accounts.
Damn.
Which is...
that shit's crazy, dude. He's only 49.
Yeah, I don't know why they would continue to use these social media accounts if they knew that he was deceased.
They probably own
especially
rights
months
to
after.
it.
Well, I know his family didn't want anybody to know.
Yeah. Which I understand
And
that.
so
I respect
they
that for
probably
sure.
said, look, and I know it's kind of shitty, but if he doesn't keep coming from his accounts, and it's known that people like that. I mean, when I worked with a guy, his buddy of mine I worked with, his sister worked for a little bit of time at a place, and that was her job, was basically getting on social media accounts for a lot of country music people and it wasn't even just stars. A lot of times it would be like companies, and they'd have a Facebook page or they have an Instagram, and that's literally what they did. And she was said that the people would still have access to their accounts and they would still post stuff themselves, but they were there to constantly make it look like they were posting. And, they'd have little things and little portfolios, I guess, that told them what the kind of stuff that they wanted posted, and it just made it look like that they were constantly doing it. So, hell,
guys,
he could have been on hiatus, and his most of his management team and all that shit not even known either.
True.
I got a story for you guys that that Bob reminded me of based on his story. So we were talking about NieR earlier. The guy who directed NieR and NieR Automata, and he also directed one of the Final Fantasy 14 DLCs, and he also did all of the Drakengard games, if you guys are familiar with those.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a huge fan of his. I'm going to share my screen real quick, show you guys something. So, okay. This is Yoko Taro. There are pictures of his face, but here's one. But he mostly wears mask, which is Emil from the Drakengard series, or he'll wear an edited version of it. But anyway, I'm a huge fan of this guy and his work, and I tweeted, this was like in 2016, I tweeted I said Final Fantasy 16 by Yoko Taro, and I added him in it. And I did not expect this at all, but he liked it and shared it. He retweeted it. And I was like, what the fuck? So when he did that, I sent him a message. Oh yeah, he also followed me. He followed me and he liked it. He might not have retweeted it, but he liked it, and then I got a bunch of likes on it, which I never ever use my fucking Twitter. Like this is like the one time I ever used Twitter. So anyway, I sent him a message after he followed me. Let's see here. I can show you. If I go to profile, here I am just showing my Twitter to everyone, but I don't use it. I don't give a fuck. If I go to followers, let's see if he still follows me. Yes, Yoko Taro.
Yeah, he does.
Yoko Taro. So anyway,
that's super sick, dude.
Yeah. So after he liked my post, I sent him a message and said, here it is. It says,
I was trying to look something up.
It says, I love you, and I drew a picture of you. Check out my art. You're a huge inspiration. No. I said that to him.
I got you.
Yeah, I said I'm a huge fan of yours, and I drew this picture of you. Check it out.
Oh, that's so nice.
And here's some examples of his work here. It's fucking. This is just great. It says someone asked him a question in an interview. Why do you wear the mask? He says, to give you an analogy, if I find out that the erotic novel I'm reading is actually written by a strange middle-aged man, it would be disappointing. In a similar manner, that's the reason I don't want to show my face. It's like if you find out your favorite trashy romance novel is written by an ugly person, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing, dude. That's amazing.
So he okay, so it gets crazier, right? Because he I never use my Twitter, and I just sent him a message. I didn't expect him to respond to it. I just sent it out, just let him know. Like, I didn't even expect him to see it, but I just wanted to know, I'm a huge fan of yours, and I want him to see that picture. Well, he responded to it and said, which his English is really broken, but it says, he just says, "Good, thank you." When I said, "You're a huge inspiration to me." Oh, he's probably responding to "good," like good drawing, but
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. But I didn't see this till like a couple months ago when I checked my fucking Twitter, which I never do, and I'm like, holy shit, he actually responded to me here. But anyway, I just wanted to flex that because Bob was talking about his thing.
It feels good. It feels good.
I'm such a huge fan of his, so that was like
That's it. That's all it amounts to. Is it just feels good. Yeah. Like you get a response, like even if it's just a thumbs up from somebody like that,
exactly,
who's an inspiration. Like it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what good meant or what he was referring to when he said good. If he said your art was good, or if he said good that I'm an inspiration to you, or good that I love you, or it doesn't matter. What matters is that he fucking responded.
Exactly. A lot of these celebrities won't take the time out of the day to do that.
I thought it was super cool.
The most surreal moment I had with like that, I haven't really had much like that. I got to meet Flatbush Zombies, but that's a different story. That was cool. But
that's awesome.
The fact that, I smoked a blunt with Waka Flocka, which was one of the coolest, and I've got it on video. That was one of the coolest things I've ever did. But
that's dope.
I tweeted, you remember whenever that Detroit bus driver uppercutted that woman?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, where he said, you gonna learn, you gonna learn today, and he turned around and uppercutted her off the side of the bus.
I do remember that.
I tweeted that out, and I forgot what he posted at first, but it was Big Black. You know who Big Black is? The one that passed away from robbing Big. He had the Big Black brand. I tweeted it at him, and he actually responded to me and had like a full-blown conversation in the DMs for like an hour, and was just like a super down-to-earth guy talking about the show, talking about why they canceled it and stuff like that. But I mean, I never thought that a celebrity would take their time out of the day to like speak back to me.
It's
you know
really
what I mean?
Cool to just see like people that are down to earth. Like I know a lot of talented people, and I know a lot of talented people that aren't down to earth, and I know a lot of talented people that are talented, but also they don't put themselves above you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which that's really respectable, especially in today's industry. A lot of people just don't give a shit anymore, especially in the industry nowadays.
I'm no exception to this.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm no exception to this, but I think anytime someone anytime someone puffs their chest out, it's just some kind of insecurity. It stems from some kind of insecurity. It's because they, it's like a defense response, right? It's like, I think that's the case.
Like spread out as wide as he can, trying to look big one time. It's funny.
It's like if someone if you're made to feel small and worthless as a kid, you're gonna grow up striving to be, bigger, and it's a response to that. And I think true mastery is to not get caught in that trap, to be talented and self-manifesting, but to not look down on others, but to help build them up as well,
That's an uplifting
energy. That's why we have creative partners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's this is something I say all the time, but it's because it's so true. I try to surround myself with people that are willing to challenge me and take the time to tell me when they disagree with me, or have,
That's one of the reasons I started my little group page, was because it was a place to be criticized,
Yeah.
Like a safe place.
Yeah, I think that's important. We don't do enough of that as a humanity.
Nobody criticizes me there, though. Nobody says
No one disagrees with you, Danny.
Yeah. Apparently, like I was ready for it, but no, nobody said no. Which is fun.
Yeah.
I did finally get somebody. I got a little lady all upset. It was funny. Yeah.
That's not simmering.
No, it's not. It's off. It needs to be off. Because let everything kind of come together, and then
I think Neif has pretty much mastered the concept of pissing people off online. His
I could see that.
It's just like it's like I watch all these magnificent, beautiful train wrecks in Neif's comment sections. They're beautiful because it's like
I know.
all you do is ask people. All you do is ask a question.
I think it's
Yeah.
All I ever see you do is ask a question like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And the question just fucking just lights people up.
Like I don't know, man. You can't make anybody understand you, and that's where like the humor is in most of like that type of post.
Yeah.
Oh, make it a little
You know that they can't understand you, so it's like you're like saying some fun.
Some cheese over the top. Kind of Italian.
I gave an observation about bigotry on the punk page, and
for sure.
At 3 in the morning, and by the time I woke up the next day, it was over 100. I was getting called everything from fucking, I mean, just name it.
Like an hour.
And not a single one of these fuckers ever met me.
I didn't.
They usually don't. That's what they resort to. No brain power equals name calling.
What cracks me up is the people that did know me had nothing to say.
Because it's New Year's Day. Well, today, really. I will have to take a new. I will see whether or not my phone wants to behave. On Sunday, not only was my Uber app being all kinds of.
We lose Alex.
I'm right here. I'm just.
Oh, okay.
I'm just walking around.
Hey,
but
your couch looks awesome, man. Is that comfortable?
Thank you. I threw out my old couch, and this is a couch from my grandma's house. That's why it looks like a
nice, dude.
That's why it looks like a grandma couch.
I had a couch from my grandma's house when I was younger, and I loved that motherfucker.
Dude,
I was sad.
Grandma couches are lit, dude.
100%. They're always the most comfortable, dude.
Let me give you guys a tour. Let me give you guys a tour of the couch.
Yeah, I had this crazy green couch from my granny's house, man, and it was like retro as a motherfucker, but it's cool.
It's a good couch.
It was dope.
It's just a couch. It's not that special.
Couches. Yeah, the Bible talks shit about couches. It's like you lazy fuckers just want to sit on a couch.
Couches are epic.
That's what the heathens, hedonistic.
Definitely beat up anyone.
They lay on the little couches and eat their grapes and drink their wine and fornicate.
Definitely beat up anyone that underplays the value of couches. Definitely crucify them.
Well, at least the Bible respects its seriousness, I suppose. I think it was Isaiah that was saying that about the couches.
Get up off the couch.
Yeah,
he's right under me.
With your jewelry on. I think it actually does read like that. It starts talking about their jewelry.
Laying around on your couches wearing your jewelry.
The anklet. They had like ankle jewelry.
Your anklet wearing couch laying hoe.
Sloth.
And I had to leave her. She was a fucking anklet wearing couch laying bitch. I couldn't deal with it.
Bring me more wine.
Oh.
Hey guys, I'm gonna call it a night.
Okay, Bob.
Hey, brother, I'm not far behind you on that one.
Happy New Year, Bob.
I love you. I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be surrounded by positive people with really good ideas.
Thanks for being here, Bob. Anytime.
Yeah, hurry up, Bob.
Thank you, man. Good to meet you.
It's nice to meet you, man.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Happy New Year, Bob.
Happy New Year, Neif.
I was worried I was going to die before it was over. And it kept being one more fucked up thing to do. Like I did like the most dangerous shit. I almost died like fucking at the beginning of the month.
Shit.
Like doing some crazy cell tower shit, and I was like, it was like the worst year ever, and it was like I kept doing dangerous
Hey,
shit.
Danny.
Did the hardest shit we do for like 2 weeks. And
Hey, Danny. Trapper wasn't here earlier when you were talking about that. You want to tell him what you do?
I built cell towers, so
Oh shit.
like I was erecting a monopole in I'm 150 feet up, and I got like a 40-foot section that's supposed to like go on top, and it just slides over each section. Looks like a wider cylinder tube, and it just slides over the top, and that's how it stays together.
No.
But
no.
it got wedged, and it got wedged in a fucked up way to where it wouldn't come off, and it was like the crane was trying to pull up the whole tower from the ground, like 19,000 pounds of pressure, 20,000 pounds of pressure.
Shit.
And so I had to like get down as much as I could. They tried to pop it off there, and it popped off with 19,000 pounds of pressure, and it went crazy. I was spinning around like it could have killed me pretty quick. Like, but I was good, and it wasn't the first time I almost died at work, so I knew how to handle it. But I'm fine. So that was like I was like, am I gonna survive or not? And then I just kept doing more and more fucked up shit at work, like. And then they called me this morning and were like, come to fucking work and do the same shit I almost died doing.
You remember that kid almost killed you? We need you to do it twice today.
Yeah. So, but I'm happy I lived through it. I was worried for a minute there. I woke up this morning and got that phone call, I was pissed. And I was like, yep, it is going to kill me. Here we go.
So,
here I am.
Before we finally say goodbye to 2020, we've kind of touched on it, but I want to talk about the bomb, because I've heard so much conflicting stuff about this, right? And you and I were talking about this the other day, Neif, and I want to kind of get into it a little bit. We were talking about, okay, so it's my understanding that the bus or whatever it was letting off alarms saying evacuate. What was it, Neif? If you can hear this, evacuate.
Yeah, apparently.
Also, like,
I was reading more about it. It was he played a song playing, some old song playing, and then when it got closer to the detonation time, then the announcement came on, and the announcement on the video is right before it goes off, and it's saying, if you can hear this, you need to evacuate the area. If you can hear this, you need to evacuate the area. And people said there was a countdown, but when I watched the video, I don't remember hearing a countdown. I just remember it saying evacuate the area, and then it just fucking blew.
Actually, I watched a live stream of a guy that was in an apartment that heard it, and he said at 15 minutes, it counted down from 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
And went down. Yeah. I watched his live stream on Facebook as it happened.
I didn't hear nothing.
While we're talking about it, Neif, do you want to try and pull some footage up?
Let me see. They really kind of...
I was house sitting for some friends in East Nashville, pretty close, close enough, I suppose. And I didn't hear nothing. I woke up and was like looking at my news feed, and I was like, bombing off in Nashville. Well, that's crazy, And then Wonder Woman's supposed to start, so it's like 11 o'clock. And I turned it on, and it crashes, and I'm like, damn, Wonder Woman killed the internet. And and then like my T-Mobile cell service crashed, which meant that T-Mobile was paying to use tower space because I was a server of theirs. I was a user of theirs. It's called. They got like dust systems that let other carriers use other people's cell systems.
Kind of like
that means that when T-Mobile shut down in my particular part of East Nashville, that they were using AT&T tower basically. Because I lost service. I could go like up the road 10 minutes and get cell service.
I found a CCT that I don't think I've seen yet. Wow.
They crashed at the same time, like exact moment.
So we have an announcement.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay,
the exact moment. Let's see.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it.
Wow. Let me back it up. Hold on. And let me share the screen.
Like, what time was that?
It was in the morning.
6:40. All right, I want y'all to know something too.
I need to say,
this right here, can y'all see? Y'all are looking at the screen. This right here is commerce, okay? Just about this time every morning. Now, granted, we've been in a lockdown, and I ain't worked in 8 months, and this was on Christmas morning, so I wouldn't have been working. But I got off the bus every day for work, right down at church or right here and crossed over and walked up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I was down there right around 6:40 if I was that early.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally where every single day, 5 days a week, I saw this twice a day.
This is only a few miles from where I live.
I've busked on this side up here and played out on the street.
Hey, Neif.
Uh-huh.
If that happened at 6 a.m. or whatever,
6:40.
6:40 a.m. Like my AT&T Wi-Fi in East Nashville didn't crash till like 11 o'clock.
Right, and there's a lot of excuses behind that, but I don't buy none of that shit either.
We're gonna get into that too, Dan.
Anyway, this is the
I
footage. Let me
understand
run
how
it.
it works. It don't make sense.
Yeah.
Right, let me run it. There's no audio, I don't think, at all.
Okay, so they had already made a perimeter at this point.
So they already knew. I did not know that.
Fuck.
Yeah, the audio apparently was telling them there's a bomb and y'all need to get out.
Yeah.
So the cops would evacuate people on some diehard Christmas shit.
That cough was mighty fucking close whenever that went off.
Yeah.
I was wondering what happened to him. You know, like I wanted to see him.
Okay.
Like do the
So
the news, a bomb dance.
So the news is also reporting that a person, the person who set off the bomb died. It was a suicide bomb. And the other thing I've heard is that today I heard that the ATF and the feds are done investigating, and they're wrapping up where they're at. So
the Republican narrative on the street is that they had Trump ballot investigation of voter fraud being stored there.
Yeah. And I see that bullshit on my Facebook way too much. Yeah. But
both sides have all kind of shit to say about it.
Well, the reason that I don't believe any bullshit like that is because the wife called the FBI or the Nashville Police Department and tipped them off 2 years ago. Did you see that? They've had a tip from her for 2 years.
I've heard conflicting about that, saying that our police department didn't do anything, and then I've also heard that the FBI did find out about it and they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's going to be past the buck, and that's how they always do. They're just going to pass the buck around the blame,
And then they use it to do more crazy invasive.
Right.
All right. So let's talk about.
And all it did, and really what it did, is fortunately it didn't kill anybody. It shut down a bunch of businesses that were already hurting, and it made a bunch of historic property now able to not be held up by the Historic Society, and 4 or 5 blocks over can now move over this, and all these outside investors can buy up second.
And now you're talking about big money, Neif, like people that don't want to hurt people.
But don't listen to me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just a dumbass anarchist that don't know what
So what about the dude? So what about the dude that was driving it up and down Rutherford?
I heard about that too.
Yeah, and they caught the guy, and the people was posting his Facebook and shit. They caught the guy that was driving it around playing the same message, and he parked it in front of someone's house, and it was like all this crazy fucking Trump propaganda on his Facebook page.
It sounds
the guy that was driving it around.
It sounds like an attention troll. That just sounds like
that's what I figured.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like some copycat shit. Yeah.
So let's talk about AT&T. AT&T went down in the area for miles and miles and miles.
Not out of the state. They said it was shut down law enforcement in Alabama.
In Fayetteville, Tennessee, my hometown, which is an hour and a half away from Nashville, 911 didn't work. You couldn't use 911.
I did a job in Eagleville, and they notified our phones as soon as we drove in the area that 911 didn't work and gave us an alternative local number to call.
All right, so let me know in the chat. Does anyone believe that the bomb has any kind of correlation to cell signal not working. Does anyone fucking believe that?
I've heard the proposal, that it was like to make Christmas people spend time with their families instead of fucking with their phones, and I thought that was cute. But
Did you see whenever it was played backwards, that message? I know people do that shit all the time, but let me see if I can find it. It was played backwards, and it says Happy New Year. It says Merry Christmas and something else.
It keeps saying something's. I think it's like something's coming, or this is big.
Yeah.
And
it was like, this is a big
before,
time, Merry Christmas.
It says Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And it sounds very well backtracked on there, not like a spooky. It just
very
happened.
clear
It sounds
as day,
like they did backtrack it, like some Slayer shit,
Yeah.
Okay, so
like it literally says Merry Christmas. You can understand it.
All right, so now let's talk about.
I think it's quite possible, Alex, that it has something to do with communication. I work in the industry, and I know where like other carriers' hubs are. And when I heard the bomb went off over there, I was like, there ain't nothing over there. I wouldn't have thought that they would have put a major network hub on 2nd and 4th Avenue. It's crazy to me.
So okay,
they did, and it's apparently because the AT&T building, which I wanted to bring up. That used to be the Bell South building.
Yeah.
I mean, Bell South and AT&T has sold back and forth for decades.
So okay. Let's talk about, Neif, you were touching on this a minute ago, but a lot of the buildings that blew up were old architectural buildings that just could not be knocked down. It was just old, it's historic buildings was a lot of what got destroyed. And now, regardless of intention.
If you were an owner of the historic society, wasn't going to necessarily let you just tear it down or anything like that. If it had historic on it. Now, they can get in your way from doing that. A lot of people like that. A lot of people don't. There's arguments on either side, And
it's like, it's money fucking ball in the pocket.
But the thing is it's a shitty way of going about it. But at the same time, nobody's complaining because property owners can now sell. People who had leased in businesses that were failing, if it doesn't, and there's another good point that Barry had brought up on a post, that if it is not deemed as a terrorist act, which it wasn't a terrorist act, there was no political motive in it. There was no political message, nothing political in this, so it was not what's classed as an act of terrorism. If it was, then nobody gets insurance payments. And that's what people, and people are literally getting pissed now saying, even with memes saying, y'all really need to quit promoting this as a terrorist act. Y'all need to start not promoting this because insurance companies, well, we know will look for any goddamn loophole they can and not pay. And one might say, hey, everybody says this is an act of terrorism. We're going to class it as an act of terrorism. You don't get shit. But if it doesn't get classed, then everybody gets their insurance payouts. Everybody's happy. More moguls can move in, and everybody's like, "Why didn't Trump say anything?"
They're like, it's terrorism.
Okay. Why didn't Trump say anything? Well, what is Trump a mogul of? Real estate.
Yeah. Well, and then I wonder how much he wants to leave that idea out there that it's got something to do with voter fraud.
Well, that too.
The whole situation's weird. I'm glad. So when's this transfer of power supposed to go down? Because I don't keep up with this bullshit. I hate it.
It never goes down. The banks still have it, and they will.
That's the damn truth. Yeah. What's really going on?
Okay.
World capitalism.
So we got a guy who tells everyone to evacuate, and then he blows up a bunch of old historic buildings.
That shuts down a major AT&T hub and just kills service for fucking 4 days for a bunch of people.
Right.
And apparently that's all it takes to cripple that's all it takes to cripple our network.
Dude,
apparently.
I don't even want to say this shit honestly, but Tennessee, I know has their own cell towers. Law enforcement have their own shit on their own cell towers, or like some they release it from another company if they have to. But like I've done a lot of work, and I know like that's the thing in the industry.
A tower is a tower that somebody owns, and they lease the spots on it for.
And Tennessee has their own Motorola people that work for the state of Tennessee, and they build their own like communication networks that are supposed to be there. And that bullshit at AT&T fails, and maybe that's just a Tennessee thing.
Well, a lot of bases off of like shortwave. You got to think about shortwave, and you got repeaters all over the place. So it's the same concept, except we can all use that. Also, the television, when TV went digital a little while back, those years back, you got the government TV. That's what I call it, because if you did not have a converter box to convert your signal to digital, you could hit up the government and they would provide you with one, because they wanted to make sure that you weren't scanning those original frequencies. Now it is illegal to use those frequencies. They're all held for the government use.
Are you serious? They banned that shit? That's interesting.
All those bandwidths.
You're not supposed to look at it?
Yep. The original television bandwidths are not used by anybody anymore except the government, mainly the military, because it's a digital signal.
Can you get a whole TV with an antenna and pick that shit up?
It's all encoded, and you're not going to know what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They're not working at FCC regulations. I can't, even if I got a shortwave license, I technically cannot send data across it. I can't play music across it. You can't play music across a short band at any time. It's FCC regulations. There's all kind of shit you cannot do. You can't if I got a license and somebody needs to communicate with somebody, I can't hand them the receiver. They can tell me and I can speak, but without holding that FCC license, you're not even allowed to speak across most shortwave bands.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was just looking into the stuff. So what the message said backwards is, it says, "Are you ready for a Merry Christmas? This will happen fast." And it says it 3 times, and then the explosion happens. And it's clear as day, like they recorded their voice and then put it backwards onto it.
It's definitely backmasked.
It's not concealed.
Okay. They just laid it in there backwards,
Which is strange. Like, why? What was the point of putting that in there?
I mean, not knowing that everybody's going to do it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's just.
They're like people on the internet were like, I already knew he was white.
Yeah. I've seen that a bunch. Seen that a whole lot.
Racist motherfuckers. Yeah, you are. Sorry. Funny.
Okay, so I'm going to go full conspiracy theory now that we laid out what we know. I think that this was an individual that was either hired or highly motivated, in some way, to destroy a bunch of historic buildings with minimal or no casualties, and so that investors could go in and now occupy these places. So we can get McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's all on that strip.
High-rise buildings, maybe,
Yep. High-rises on 2nd Avenue. They're trying to turn into Manhattan.
And
dude, it's hard to disregard a major communication hub as a target. That idea goes against the crazy psycho scenario of just a bomb on a
I got you.
So I don't know.
Well, what
and that's to say that would be the only motive. But people got to realize is that when you got people in power that own everything, it's all. Ain't nothing coincidental.
So
everything's fucking convenient, though.
So it's not okay.
That just happened to work out.
Right. So nothing is.
They need to speculate until the cows come home, but.
So nothing's coincidental. So it's not a coincidence that a lot of people benefit from this bombing.
Right.
It has to have multiple interests involved as far as, and then maybe it's just chaos.
And also, if you shut down the communications network, then people can't really start looking into shit that easily, and they can clean it up and investigate it fast.
Which might give people motive, you know, like on a double scale, like double motive. They're like, oh shit, that's perfect, you know.
It's just, it's strange because you have some naysayers that say he just did it because he was batshit crazy, but then you ask them a follow-up question like, why did he if he was batshit crazy and he wanted to hurt people or something, yeah, the intention. He could have went to fucking what's the main show? Broadway. He could have went to Broadway and partied.
People were saying, yeah, I've had people say it was a guy who was pissed
the first thing I thought was like all the government buildings were like 8 blocks over. Sorry, but all the important shit was a few blocks away.
Well, people are saying that, you know, I've heard people say that it was a dude that they think he was pissed off about COVID, and he was pissed off at the bars and restaurants for not closing like they should. And my whole point is, well, he would have rolled down to Broadway.
Yeah, exactly. Like if he wanted to hit the bars and restaurants, that's
because there's restaurants there, but that's not the restaurant spot. It's tied down. But also, that is where the buskers were pushed to. The buskers weren't allowed on Broadway.
Doesn't this
started getting pushed up second?
Doesn't this sound eerily like familiar, America? Like, remember when in the Bronx in the 70s, you know, newspapers, you know, the Bronx are on fire, and it's because, you know, all these apartment buildings are going up in flames, so the people that own it can collect insurance money. They're purposefully hiring people to blow up these old buildings because it's more profitable for them to just collect fire insurance.
There was people doing that with vehicles for years. If you couldn't pay the note on your vehicle, if you need to do something with it, there's dudes that would wreck your car. Like, they're stunt guys, basically.
That's awesome.
That would take your car and go wreck the living shit out of it, and you'd be like, oh, it's totaled. It got stolen and totaled, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they knew how to fuck it up bad and wreck the living shit out of it and survive the wreck and get out and dip, you know? And
That's
that was
crazy.
a racket going on. Yeah. For years.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Nobody could, you know, I mean, there's no way they would believe that you actually had that done.
Exactly. Especially if you did it during the night. You call the police in the morning, hey, my vehicle's stolen.
Yeah, somebody stole my car. Well, we found it flipped over down here, and a lot of it was the muscle cars. That was half of the muscle cars. You know, and dudes would just take them, and well, somebody obviously broke into it and took it for a joyride and wrecked the shit out of it. Good thing you had insurance, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
You reminded me. I just watched an old Need for Speed. I guess it was the second one, but I'd never seen it. Apparently, because I don't know. I'm only so much a fan, but Paul Walker, close-ups of all their faces while they're racing, and they're all stressed out, looking around. It's just close-up of their faces. That's some really cool cinema shit. And then how he actually died, made it almost eerie. You know. It's a weird film to look at, honestly.
Yeah.
Weird.
The earlier ones, I didn't watch a lot of the later ones. I saw, I think, the first one and the second one, but what you're saying went away. They were hauling ass down the mountain, a cliffside, drifting, and then it goes inside the car, and he's talking to the chick, oh, blah, 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 and you're looking and it pans out of the car, and they're sideways around the corner, and there's no stress, no I'm holding this car, he's just clinking the fucking champagne glass. Sure, everybody, we're
the one that I watched, it was intense, and not. It had stupid shit for sure, but
right. Well, these are the later ones.
Just showing their faces stressed out while they're trying to race and almost kill each other. And it was dope. It was good cinematography. It's original in a way. But and then how he died, I was saying, added this freaky kind of element to it.
Right.
Well, gentlemen, it's past Alice's bedtime, and I think it's time we say goodbye to her.
If Alice is still up, she's really pissed drunk right now.
That's all right.
I'm
Okay,
sorry to stop
see
by
you.
so late.
Oh no problem, man.
I'm just glad I got to stop by and see you guys again.
We can we
Glad you came through.
we can all party at Alice just needs to go to bed.
Oh yeah.
So
It's late. It's dark.
yeah, so all of us here at Rhetoric Rabbit Hole, we wish you a happy future, Alice,
Happy New Year, Alice.
full of wonder.
Survived 21 as well. Yeah.
Don't worry.
I hope you have a
painful, but it'll get better.
I hope you have a wonderful year.
Words.
Embrace the pain.
Yeah, that's that real shit. Just keep going. Fuck it.